I love my wife, but it's kind of nice that she's not here because then I can be as loud as I want to be without having to worry about waking anybody up except my dogs. But they wake me up all the time, so fuck them. Anyway, I digress. So, hope everyone's week has been bearable. But we are here now, and we shall recap a little bit of last session and beyond. For your guys' group, you've been mildly successful in the city lives that you guys have been interacting with. It was, let's be fair, a possible toss-up of whether or not you guys were going to immediately cause chaos and get kicked out of an entire country, or you guys were going to slide under the radar and be some normal people for once. It was very 50-50.
Let's be real. The jury is still out. Yeah.
Well, I was getting to it. You guys have toted the line pretty well so far. And between Solbrun and the port town that you guys were in, you guys have been mildly successful at not bringing too much attention to yourselves, either positively or negatively. You guys have gotten some things done, gotten information, cleared up some questions that some of you have been having since character inception, basically. And all in all, we're moving into a new portion of character development to where a lot of that foggy past, cloudy, not sure what to call it backstory, a lot of it's clearing up for those that had the foggy areas. And for those that didn't know that they had foggy areas, even that's getting cleared up as well. But now we're moving more into a situation where you guys are all looking forward. As far as things in the past go, though there are still some lingering stuff, a lot of it has been taken care of. Like I said, still a few things here or there. Floki, Laverne a little bit, some stuff with Kaporin, big hanging Zelik over Nori. But all in all, everything's progressing forward. That's a good thing. You guys are no longer having conversations about death and what that would be like right around the corner and the possibilities of it.
It's always in the back of our minds, so let's be real.
It's in the back of your minds, but you're no longer having those active conversations about it where, like...
Because we've done it so much, we're like, all right, if it happens, it fucking happens at this point, guys.
Rachak can't actually communicate it.
Yeah, Rachak just stress sleeps at night.
It just at this point, it's like, if I die, I'm not going to be surprised. I won't be happy, but I won't be surprised.
Well, that's called character development, when you stop talking about it and just start looking forward. Making plans for future. That aren't being beset upon you like you guys used to have. Because in the past, all your plans were, okay, we have to go here, we have to do this, we have to finish this job. And now it's more of like, where do we want to go? What do we want to do? And so it's a nice deviation. It's a nice growth. It's a nice moving forward. So, with that, in last session, you guys spending more time in Solbrun. Getting whatever little things you need to get done here. Some people putting in some orders for some custom pieces. Others just buying up as much stock as they can, shopping cart bird. Others contemplating choices on how they want to move forward with their student life. Others dealing with intense family drama. Okay, a lot of others dealing with intense family drama, but in different ways. But we don't need to talk about the smut, okay? You guys are in Solbrin, having a decent time, enjoying yourselves comfortably for... I'm trying to think the last time you guys were just hanging out, which is pretty much what you're doing right now. As we're waiting for pieces to get done and going off the timeline that you guys had set for yourselves, you guys are kind of just hanging out. And to be honest, without a looming threat of death or some demon showing up and destroying everything, you guys really haven't been able to do that. And so, it's... even though it's raining right now, where you guys are currently at, and even though it's getting colder, it doesn't feel the same as the other times where you've dealt with this. You see the rain, you see the cloudy days and the cold weather, and you guys can start to hope, or you know that eventually the rain's going to go away, the clouds are going to as well, and it's going to warm up. So, slight tinge of optimism now resides in everyone.
I feel like this is a really long setup for failure.
I 100% agree, and I'm very worried about it.
The way you're phrasing this is that you're making it sound so hopeful, and then we're just gonna be... I'm gonna get shot again.
The build up before the fall. It's fine.
This is where we found a mind flayer has been staying in the town and we just haven't noticed, or something interesting like that. Yeah.
Zelik knows where I am.
I mean, that's always a possibility, let's be real.
Yeah. Just leave me alone. I'm not a threat to you, man.
Really? You're not a threat to him? After he ripped your mother's head off and bowling pinned
She's
it
totally forgiven that already,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, she's completely forgot about that.
Oh no, the problem is she can't do anything about it because she'll die instantly.
But no, it's Tarask hunting season. And no, I'm just optimistic with you guys. It's a good turn and it's a good
I'm
move.
glad someone's optimistic for us.
It's a good move into... you guys are officially out of the beginning campaign. Hence why I told you guys can go look at the book, read it, see where I created the entirety of this world off of, and enjoy some sneak peeks into the possibility of what Valek and Yelena went through when they first met each other, and some of the stuff that I tied into this world as well.
Don't worry, Rachad's going to read that book.
So we're looking for kidnapped orphans. Got it.
That's already been done. Polly, you actually don't know this. This group found them.
Bryn.
If you remember Polly, when Libra had those visions from the entity that was possessing her, and she saw a silvered-haired individual in front of her attacking her, and she was getting wounded because of it.
Nope, don't remember that. Wasn't taking notes. Not my bag.
This group actually went into the academy, well, not the academy grounds of District 5.
It's not even this group, it was literally just
Well, it was
Ryan's character and Chris's character and the others.
Well, it was us two and one other, and we went into Perlace to get the fourth one. and turned out there was a lot more people than just the one person that was in there.
Yep. It was all the kidnapped orphans that were being soul siphoned. So, that's... And it was connected to Laery because the entity that was in her head, the one that made her do all of her things so long ago, was actually the right-hand man of General Brazil, who was helping everything happen. So when that guy got attacked, Laery was having visions, and she was getting hurt because they were so connected. And that was actually the other group doing it. That's why when it happened to her, it happened fucking out of nowhere. They were like literally like traveling on the road, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, Laery, you start immediately having bad headaches, and you're seeing visions. Oh, and you're getting shot. She's like, what?
I was not there in the group for that. Thank goodness.
Oh no, that would be just Vinny and Libra. Yeah, because they were in District 7 at that time. No, District 8 at that time. Yeah, that was a while ago. Anyway, we're getting off track. Nevertheless, off last session, you guys were taking care of all things in your different respects. Different places. You guys all ended up conglomerating, going to the Companion, the general store. Once inside, Kaporin and Richa, or Kaporin with Richa backpack, split off to go to the magic section, and Richa proceeded to make his position known, and then dump coin, with Kaporin helping a little bit after that. While everyone went to an establishment of a man named Wetzel to have some of his pretzel. And with that, I think a couple of you... Did we even get to you guys buying anything?
We left off with Nori, Bryn, and Polly going to the jeweler, and Amric
Getting
had
the
just
mirror,
placed
yeah.
his order.
Yeah, they ordered the mirror.
And Amric
and
had
then
placed
Amric
his order
did
for
his
the
armor.
custom armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we met everybody back at the pretzel place.
And
Back
most
at-
importantly, Bryn got a 50 gold
Silver flask.
flask. Yes, most importantly.
And to be aware, it's a silvered flask, not a silver flask. So it's silver-coated flask.
For 50 silver, you got a silvered flask? Wow,
50
they ripped
gold.
you off. 50
It's
gold?
Whatever.
Wow.
It's the extra large. It's like a 20 ounce.
Oh yeah, no, it's a big gulp.
It's Scanlan size.
It's Scanlan size for Valkyries, so like when you bring it over to Polly, he's just like, oh shit, that's a mini cask.
It's silver and you could use it to fight a werewolf.
Just have him drink.
Don't hurt my werewolves.
Not the ones from the book.
We'll just make sure you're not there, Kaporn, don't worry.
You haven't met them yet. They're not all nice.
Don't worry, Kaporin, the werewolves in your book are Native Americans that never have their shirt on. So Taylor Lautners. They're all Taylor Lautners, don't worry.
Don't encourage him.
Ooh.
They all sign contracts so they can never wear a shirt. Alright.
Aaron's just gonna have a smut book collection by the end of this.
Kaporin's gonna
He's
start...
just gonna
Can't
buy
wait.
out the book stop.
Kaporin's
the-
gonna
I just
start
can't
making
wait.
his own.
I just can't wait for Val to have to describe stuff from the smut book because that's what he's got himself into here.
Like I
So
said,
fun.
Google is my friend. I don't have to
Kaporin
describe
doesn't
anything,
know.
I just gotta read it.
When Kaporn has enough money, he's investing in the bookstore or in a bookstore.
The Eye of the Newt franchise, we're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this.
I'm surprised it would be a bookstore though, out of all of the things.
Well, the Skeleton Closet gets a little kickback.
There we go. That's what I was expecting.
A little crossover chain.
Yeah.
like KFC and
Spencer's.
Taco Bell, but you know.
It's just going to be Spencer's. Half of it's going to be books, half of it's going to be toys. And then, like,
Yeah, the
beer
books in
pong
the
in the corner.
Like an authentic porn shop.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so now that that's taken care of, we come back as you guys are all enjoying the pretzels of Wetzel's. Cinnamon, salted, and original. The rain dying down a little bit. But currently it is just after lunch, because I believe you guys stopped for lunch somewhere. So we're talking about 2 p.m.-esque, and you have a few hours to kill until dinner tonight.
Yeah, we also have to meet Kermarsh at we have to meet Kermarsh for drinks at sundown to discuss training.
Didn't you invite Kermarsh to dinner?
No, we said we meet him at the Familiar and buy him drinks.
Gotcha. All right.
Are we expected for dinner?
No, I just forgot. But that's where we return. I believe at the end, Nori was interested at going to the magic shop. Or the magic stand.
Well, if Chaw's there, he'd hold out the scarab that he's like, and hand it over to Nori, and be like, "Protect you."
Thank you. What is it?
I don't know.
Sounds like we need to go back to the magic shop and get an identify scroll.
He actually does though. He's just fucking with you. He in the shopkeep's voice would say that you have a chance to shrug off spells and stuff with saves. Anything that requires a save.
Ooh. Okay. What is it?
Scarab of Protection.
Pouring up fly boots.
Thank you, Raja.
What did you say, Kaporin?
I got a new pair of boots. As Kaporin shows off his boots.
And what do they do?
Nothing in particular.
Good, because I was hoping that you would say they didn't, because I don't. You know, you're not supposed to do magic in public.
Yeah, nothing in particular. They're just nice boots.
I can make you fly for an hour.
It
Okay.
can make
Rachel,
you
that's the
fly?
Rachel, that's the drugs that you have on yourself. Don't talk about those.
Wasn't that the
Insight check.
same voice that he used to describe what he gave Nori, though?
Nope.
That voice was actually an Illinade's voice.
Yeah.
I absolutely do not believe you, Kaporin.
Let him roll deception.
With a
Okay,
natural
hold on.
20?
He might nat 20 as well.
Yeah, and he does have like a plus 13 to lying, so
Well, I don't have proficient expertise in deception, but I have a 9.
You definitely do not have an expertise in deception.
Nope.
Sure, yeah, so just please don't use them in public. Please. Please.
Kaporin just gives you a big thumbs up, and he's like, "Sure, Polly. I don't know what you talk about."
Yeah, uh-huh. Sure, yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, just keep that to yourself. Also, just so you guys know, because I know that Emmerich is doing some stuff, and Kaporin, you were doing some dolls and stuff, because I have Bill still. Just want to let you know, keep it up, because probably by the time we get back from Bryn's village, it will be the Winter Festival. And it's kind of like this really cool, like, arts and crafts festival thing because people go inside and hibernate during the winter. So maybe we can like get prepped for that while we're traveling or whatever.
Ooh. Well, let me finish what I was gonna work on first, and then I'm sure I can make some cutouts or something for people to make at home. Like little home kits would be nice for them.
That would be kind of cool, actually. So like kids could have something to work on while their parents are mending their clothes and shit.
Yeah, it's a good way to teach the kids how to sew for themselves. I'll make
Now I
sure I
really
get
want
started.
one.
Well, once I finish everyone else's, I'll make some. I'll make one just for you, so you can have your practice.
So is there anything else we need to do? Nora, you said you wanted to go to the magic shop, right?
Yeah, just see what there is. Maybe they have an identify scroll, pick that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you because I'm looking for something in particular.
What are you looking for, if I may ask?
Anything that keeps us warm, like
Smart.
a rod of warming, or like a ring of warming, or like a pair of underwear of warming. I don't know. I don't know what they have. Some undergarments of warming. Who knows?
Long johns of toasting.
Long johns of bun toasting. Absolutely.
They have to have the butt flap.
Mm-hmm. Gotta let
They
out the
wouldn't be
steam
long
every now
johns
and
with
then.
a butt flap.
It only works if the butt flap is up.
Just in case you get too warm.
It's a pressure valve. Alright, so going over to the magic stand. It's decently busy comparatively to like the regular shelves and aisles that are around here. There's the most conglomeration of people, but in the same respect as last session, there is the shelf with the 2,000 to 5,000 range stuff. There's the more expensive under the glass thing. Sorry, 2,000 is under the 2,000 and up's under the glass. 500 to 2,000's on the shelf, and then the little baubles up to 500 are on top of the tables.
So probably just the shelf and on top of the tables, because I still want to pay for the mirror.
That helps. On the shelves, we've got a couple bags, gloves, belt, ruby, that got bought, a cloak. Everything else got bought.
What's the cloak?
The cloak is... Oops, that's not the cloak. You guys would really want that to be the cloak. That's not the cloak, though. It is a cloak of protection.
I am buying that instantly. How much is it?
It is 2,000 gold.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So +1 bonus to AC and saves. Does require attunement. So does the scarab. That's one less thing on these shelves.
Do they have anything of warming? I'll ask the clerk.
Unfortunately, no, they do not.
And how often do they restock?
Once a month.
How close is it?
They're like 2 weeks out. They're not a Oryx and a Vita propriety. This is their own thing.
Just thought I'd ask.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
And
call
I can
them
just
up and tell
imagine
them.
Polly like, go ahead, Corn, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that gotta call them up and tell them to set up a shop over here.
I can imagine Polly going through the store and like getting greasy pretzel hands all over everything, just looking at stuff, not caring.
Luckily, it's magical, so the grease don't stick. Anything else interested in?
Have to pay for that mirror.
What are the gloves?
They are actually gauntlets. Gauntlets of ogre power.
That's cool.
Makes your strength score 19.
If I had more money, I'd get that too, but nope.
Then Nori could really throw Kaporn.
I could be strong.
Until you get hit with a dispel magic.
Yeah. I don't think dispel magic works on items though. There's like a whole thing to it.
if you're depending on what rarity it is, and then depending if you're focusing on hitting that item, it does.
And then there's things like anti-magic zone and stuff too, so there's plenty of ways around things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Counter spell, the whole 9 yards can be done, so
Would it ruin
Yeah.
the actual item, or would it just temporarily disable it?
it would destroy the enchantment.
Yeah, I'll take my stuff.
All right, kids, where to now?
Would Bryn know about how long it would take to get a letter up to Lingby from here? Would it be worth it to send something, kind of thing?
No, you wouldn't.
Wouldn't know.
No. It'd probably be pretty difficult. There's only a few people that would be
Yeah,
openly allowed in Lingvi.
true. Okay.
And you probably know them all personally.
All right, then probably. I guess. How many people probably did you meet up in Lingby? You meet a lot of people up there, or no?
There's a lot of people up there, yeah.
There's a lot of people, but I just want to try to warn my parents, I guess, that we're coming.
I mean, I can send to your mom. But she's the only one I mean, I can send to the guidesses, but I don't think that they would be really happy about that. I could send to a couple of the guards, but again, I don't think they'd be very happy to hear from me. We didn't really leave on the best of terms. Not hostile, but not on the best of terms. I mean, they were nice enough to return our stuff that we left with them.
Yo, remember me? I'm that dwarf that was really a doppelganger, then came back as a dwarf. And then
And didn't listen to your advice and got almost killed in a place that you told me not to go.
good times.
Well, I want to attune to this stuff.
2 hours and you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's. Do you want to head over to the familiar now, or do you want to head back to the hotel and then over to the familiar?
What time are we meeting your friend?
Sundown, pretty much, like end of the workday.
I think I'll head back to our hotel, attune to the items, and then I don't know, do something else.
Sounds good. I'm gonna head over to my parents' house. If anybody wants to come with me, She usually has snacks and stuff before my dad gets home.
Nori's intrigued by snacks.
She makes really good pie.
Pie and charcuterie.
I think we're going to Polly's house.
Petra is
can
actually going to sneak off and try and track down Fiona's shop, if there is one in town.
You guys know. Yeah, she openly told you guys she doesn't have a shop. She took over the inn that you guys are currently staying at.
Is there a boutique in the first floor or something?
Nope.
He
Not
wants
yet.
to. He'd still want to go talk to Fiona.
Okay. Where would you like to go?
I guess we'll try at the inn we're staying at first, because thinking she might be there.
Okay. So with your speed, you would get there pretty quickly. Same front desk person standing there as you arrive, probably unintentionally sneaking up until your beak is right over the desk, and she's
I'll like, I'll fluff my feathers outside, like underneath an awning before I go in, so I'm being courteous to her.
you just kind of scare her a little bit. Hello, bird. As a towel slowly starts making its way from underneath the counter.
Hello, bird.
Can I help you?
Fiona.
Yes. What about her?
I need to talk to her.
She's not in right now. Can you leave a message?
Where?
I do not know. She's a busy woman.
The bird speaks of business.
That's the message you'd like?
And he just nods.
The bird speaks of business. Okay. I will let her know. If she responds, would you like me to find you at your room? Leave a message in your room?
Yes, please.
Okay, that was 2 options, but okay, I'll figure it out.
Do.
Okay, leave a message. Got it.
He'll go running off, probably to Polly's house now, assuming she might be there.
So, as you guys approach, the tables are gone from the time that you were here last. The porch has, or the back porch, because that's the one that's out to the main street, has a semi-permanent awning that's currently pushed out. And the wash basins that usually accompany everything, there's less of them because getting a Mother Nature wash right now, but there are more towels and other things to dry oneself, as well as a shoe rack to put wet shoes to dry. But the door is ajar like it usually is. She ain't afraid of no bitch. And you guys all follow Polly of the disrobing of wet clothes, putting it on hangers and shoes on racks, cleaning up whatever dirt may be around on yourselves with the wash basins before Polly pushes his way inside.
Hey, Mom. We're just stopping by for a little bit to, keep you company.
Moving in, she's currently on the leisure couch. Book in one hand, tall glass of something bubbling in the other hand. She's got some nice red rosy cheeks growing on right now. And you see that bottle of the liquor that you brought her is currently on the table next to her, 3/4 empty. Polly, welcome. Friends of Polly, welcome. She takes a sip of her drink and then kind of looks down at the bottle. Looks back up at everybody. I hope you brought your own drinks.
I fill hers up with her bottle. Using her bottle, I mean.
I love my boy. What can I do for you all?
We're just here to hang out for a little bit, shoot the shit, as one would say. We have to meet Kurmarsh in a couple of hours, so
Well,
we'll be out of your hair before Dad gets home.
no worries. Feel free to shoot the shits anywhere in the reading room. Don't destroy things. Oh,
Should Shaw here for these phrases?
not yet. It doesn't look like your bird friend's here yet, so I guess I don't have to worry about things getting destroyed. Wait, and she looks over at Kaporin. Make sure not to destroy anything.
Okay. I was just gonna go work on a project.
Did you bring your own supplies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a table in the corner.
Hey, do you mind
Thank
if I
you.
run into the kitchen and grab some snacks and stuff?
Yes. Don't touch the pie. It's still cooling. But the cake's ready.
Fine. Oh, okay.
I hope you
Grumpy
all
no
like.
pie. Ooh, cake.
I hope you all like coffee cake.
Yeah. And I go into the kitchen and I start cutting it up.
Polly comes back with half a coffee crumb cake. The rest seems to be around here somewhere. But it's delicious. It's very rich. She is enjoying her mid-afternoon snack of basically Chardonnay and is letting you guys have the cake, no problem. She's casually listens into a conversation here or there, and she'll answer anything that she gets asked, but for the most part she's just in her book, which she has not turned a page of since you guys have arrived.
Kaporin is just sitting at the table working on one of his latest creations.
Make up her a dex check. Yes, it is. It's hard with the cold. You end up losing a little bit of dexterity in your fingers and keep poking yourself. Usually, you use your finger to guide as you're sewing, but you end up going a couple holes too far. Ah, fuck. Ugh. After the 17th one, everything okay over there?
It's just a little cold, that's all. Thank you.
Underneath the table, there's thimbles.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Don't bleed on my carpet.
Mom, do you want me to
Ma'am.
light a fire or something? It is kind of chilly in here.
I am fine. If you need a fire to stay warm, then go ahead and light that fire.
I will, just because my companions look a little chilly.
Emmerich's just stonewall. Like, what are you talking about?
No, Amric has left to go to the armorer and just oversee the designs.
He's
One
just
of those
helicoptering.
people.
Like that curve is not correct to my figure. Try
Well,
again.
They're taking some of the designs off of his tattoos, so they're stenciling it down.
Just imagining someone holding a piece of paper up to Amric as they're tracing.
You can stencil things without actually pushing the paper up against the person.
Taking a rubbing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not taking a rubbing.
Funny in my head.
All right, sir. We're gonna need you to stay here. We're gonna take a rubbing. Which tattoos are we? The full thing. Okay. It's the rub. Ooh, it goes all the way down, and then it goes all the way up. Ooh. Well, sir, you just sit down and you relax. Or don't. It's fine.
I'm so dead.
Amber's just like, what? What are you talking about? What's going on? Why do I feel good all of a sudden? Oh, that's just the tea. This is some fine tea.
Fucking tea.
Yeah, but
I mean, I can make some tea if you want some.
I would love a glass.
I'll go into the kitchen and make some tea.
Help Kaporn warm up a little bit more so he can continue to try to working.
yeah, Kaporn's not even there to drink the tea. He's just holding the teacup to warm his fingers up. He's like, all right, I got 5 seconds, go. Back to the cup. All right. So, if there's anything you guys would like to do, say, or talk about, now's the time. Or else we will boop, 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 all the way to sundown.
Richard would still be looking for Fiona. So he'd probably ask Polly's mom about it.
Oh, there's the bird. I
Hi.
felt a quick need to hold on to my drink. But can I help you?
I'm looking for Fiona.
Got your eye on the big broad ones, do you?
Business or pleasure?
Ooh. Probably you didn't say your bird friend here was so feisty.
I think he's just looking for her to talk about clothes.
Business or pleasure.
He'll pull out Tat's dress,
Oh, pleasure it is!
and then he'll pull out his multi-purpose tool and go, fancy making something?
I'm not sure where Fiona is right now, dear, but I don't even know what to say.
That's a first.
Well, I mean, I know what to say, but you're here, Polly, and I don't think you want to hear it.
Probably not.
And we'll just cover Polly's ears.
Fuck off, human. And he'll just sort of brush, like, shoo Polly away.
Something like this, honey, is always better if on the inside of the ring there's a bit of leather so there's no chafage. Experience.
Fascinating.
But sorry, I don't know where Fiona's at right now. You can let go
Or
of
you
his ears,
just-
Bryn.
Okay.
Or I just continue like thinking like, where have I heard the name Fiona before? Before all this, what am I remembering? And it's driving her nuts.
Shrek.
Because Avita talked about how her partner was Fiona, but I don't think she put 2 and 2 together yet because she didn't say exactly what business was. She just talked about clothes and it's like, oh, okay. So I'm just waiting for the moment to ask.
We have all afternoon.
Yeah, but about 2 hours before we'll head out, Nora will go back to the room so she can attune to her stuff.
Roger that.
Where does she frequent?
You see this very glossy-eyed Annabelle staring back at you. She's just staring at you with a smile on her face. Kind of sips a little bit more from her drink. Kind of, book still open, puts it on her knee and kind of just reaches out and furrows the top of your head a little bit. And I don't know. Go find her. Shoo.
And I think it's time for us to take our leave and go meet Kurmarsh at the Familiar.
Bye, dears. Have fun. Dogs. Watch out for dogs.
Yeah, they seem to like barking around here.
Well, it's understandable.
It's the neighbors. They don't have very much control over them.
That's enough, Zero.
It's the bird, and Rachad just sort of nods.
Have you been the one who's barking?
Shakes his head no. He's just the
But now
dog's
you've
barking.
But now you've given Racha a thing to do in every town he goes to from now on. Just,
He'll just bark back at the dogs barking at him.
just randomly down a... Even if there are no dogs barking, just randomly go through a back alley and just start barking.
Do we really need him insulting more animals, though?
I just need to cast Speak with Animals, just to hear the words Racha knows and inform him of what he is saying.
Have you ever seen the video of the cat who's barking like a dog? And then the owner comes up to it, and then it sees the owner, and it's like, roof, roof, meow, meow. I feel like that would be Racha if someone like is like, whose dog is barking? Goes down the alley. Then Racha's, roof, roof. Fuck off, human.
I thought he'd make like a little chirping noise or a crow caw.
Tweety birdie.
Okay. But you guys leave the Schlemazel abode and start heading over to meet with Kurmarsh.
Can I put on that I have attuned to my items? Yeah or nay?
Yes, we can say that you have done that.
Gracias.
If Caporn's not needed, he'd actually just go back to the room.
Where are you putting the
Ask-
scarab? Sorry, Corey. Nori, where are you putting the scarab?
So it has to be on my person.
Or in
Yeah.
it.
That's
Hey,
how
Nori,
magic
let me
items
help you
work,
with that.
Nori. They gotta be on you.
No, like I'm just double checking.
Yeah, Nora, let's put it on your forehead. It's just
Have more sketchy gems.
Have you seen
I'm
that
not sure.
gem
Come back
lady
to me.
walking around?
Two.
Okay.
Yeah, come back to me. I'll figure it out.
Alrighty then. So, and just so you know, Nora, you do have the cloak on you as well. Okay. Just pushing your buttons.
What buttons are you trying to push?
No, and you're like, wait, I gotta have it on me? Yes, you gotta have it on.
I know the cloak. I was just like, can I put it in my pocket? But I don't want to because it's 100% gets stolen because
Yeah, no, an attuned item has to be technically attached to you in some sort of way. All right. Heading out. I believe you guys are going to the Familiar?
Yep.
Let me just get rid of that one because the chirping's just a little bit too loud. All right. So, heading towards the Familiar. I had World Anvil up. Oh, it's making me log in. All right. Heading in, they do have a separated bar for regulars. And this side of the bar is very packed. And then they have their more like, basically think of it like a beer bar and then a hard liquor section, where the more refined gentlemen are. And Kermarsh is over there. Mainly because he doesn't like being surrounded by people.
Grab a few ales and a few shots and head over to him.
Alright, 3 silver. He acknowledges you as you guys entered, keeping an eye on Nori. But... So, what can I... Is there something specific you want to talk about, or...
Bryn?
We're talking about Bryn?
Yeah, kind of. Bryn and Amric, actually.
We were hoping that we could train with you tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to talk like how funny they look or something like that. But okay. Train. I mean, I could always use punching bags during training.
I mean, we have about 4 or 5 days in town. So we don't get opportunities like this very often. We were just curious if you could help us out. Since you train Laverne, I figured maybe the two of you could help Bryn and Amric a little bit.
Well, Laverne's, I think, working a job with the, with Hawkus. I'm currently training a new set of trainees, but like I said, it's always nice to have a little bit bigger of a punching bag to show moves off to the younger generation.
I mean, does that sound like what we're looking for, Bryn?
Honestly, any time to practice is fine with me.
Yeah, I don't see a problem. Wouldn't be
So
as
times.
intensive a training as if we were doing one-on-one, but you might pick up a thing or two.
So what time are we talking and where?
About 4 a.m. and north, just outside the north gate, northeast gate.
Well, that's all you.
Yeah, I usually just sleep during the day and then just drink until I need to go to practice.
That kind of makes sense, actually.
Yep. So, is that the whole reason you wanted us out?
I mean, just to hang out with you too, but yeah, pretty much.
Alright. Well, I mean, I just woke up like an hour ago, so...
Are you doing night watch or something? Or just drinking all night?
Just drinking till I have to go train. It's not an exciting life here. Not like some people running around different countries doing crazy things.
You do what you gotta do.
Now that the war's over, it's a lot more boring.
Yeah, hey, by the way, Ganthrox says hi.
Oh. Tell
We
that
ran
son of
into
a.
him down at-
Next time you see that. Next time you see them, tell that son of a slow what's up.
I will. We ran into him down in District 7 real quick.
Now, there's a guy who could drink.
For Rachaw purposes, he said, "Tell that son of a what?
Son of a
What's up?
slug.
Slug." Okay. Tell the son of a slug what's up. He just sort of says it under his breath to himself.
Because they're both orcs, so they're both green.
Is there anything you wanted to ask him, Bryn?
Nothing I can think of right now. But it sounds like I might have time later on.
If you could talk between getting punched, then yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Training how?
I thought the whole punching bag and talk between punches kind of made that obvious.
What made you do it?
He turns to you, Bryn. I just woke up an hour ago. I'm not really. This is only drink number 4. I'm not in the mood to play 20 questions.
Interpretive dance, and he just sort of like flourishes a little bit with his hands.
Charades is not my thing. I'm sorry.
Are you asking why he's doing the training?
Who is doing the training? Him.
Who else is going to be there?
Well, where'd you learn that, little fella?
Who trained you? Who trained him? Who trained you, Karamarsh?
Oh, I'm 100% grade A, by the gods, gifted meat.
God's gifted?
It means I came up with it myself.
I get my divine intervention from God.
That's good, little bird. Now hush, birdie. And he just slides a drink over to you. And, like, pushes the drink to you, and then you to the drink at the same time. Just...
Ooh! And he just sort of picks it up.
And by the time he goes back around to get the drink again, from where he had it on the counter, they've already given him a new one.
I will stay for a couple of drinks and then I'll let Bryn know, hey, I'm gonna go grab something to eat since we haven't had dinner yet. And if anybody wants to join me, they will see you in the morning, I guess.
Yeah, make
And
sure you tell the Samric.
I will. Yeah, before I let him go to sleep, promise. And it was good hanging out with you.
Totally. Riveting conversation we had.
Hey. Boo says more than words.
And booze makes you say more words, usually. But, have fun.
Have a good night. Morning. I'll see you later. And I'll leave.
I'll go with him. Did we enter from that gate, or no? We didn't enter that from that gate, right?
No, you guys
We
entered from the
gate.
southwest gate.
Rachaw will stay awkwardly long with her Kuramarsh, just hanging out. Not really actually talking to him because he told me to hush, but just chilling. Until he actually shoos me off.
Okay. I was wondering what the hell I was hearing. I guess it's lightning storming here. Just realized I said that when I was muted. I said, okay. And then I was wondering what I was hearing, but now I realize it's lightning storming. Makes a lot more sense. I thought, man,
That's
those are some
happening
fucking
up
loud
here.
ass fireworks.
That's happening up here too. It's crazy.
And it's happening in Belize as well. So now I get to tell my wife, fuck you, you're not special, it's happening here too. Alright, so you guys are off to dinner. Except for Rachel, who stays awkwardly long behind. And then leaves.
Until he tells me to leave. Unless he doesn't, then he'll probably just chill with him.
No, he's not gonna tell you to leave. As long as you're not badgering him with questions, you'll be his drinking buddy for the night.
Works for me. I'll probably just ask him, so what's your story? That's about it.
All right. How long are you staying with him throughout the night?
However long it takes him to get through that whole story. And then he'll probably ask him like any juicy bits on Polly.
All right. So staying another 3 hours with him.
Fair enough. I'll have a ration.
You end up finding out he's the oldest of three. He So he's the oldest of three and lost his father decently young in his life. Nothing really interesting happened with them. They lived in the mountains up until a point where there were some wild animal attacks. They lost their youngest brother to the attack, who died. Shortly thereafter, there was Polly. Was it a bandit attack or no? It was another animal attack, right?
It was a earth elemental.
Earth elemental.
Was what race is Kurmarsh?
He's half orc.
Right. Okay.
There was an earth elemental attack that, luckily, Polly, Laverne, and Otis, as well as a couple other people from their attachment, came in just the right time to help protect the tribe and fight off the earth elemental. With that, it was mainly Polly, Laverne, and Otis that went over their superior's head to get them back into Ixia, to get them integrated into Ixia, taking them directly back to Solbrun, where they were all from, so they had more pull, especially with Polly's parents. They all came back with them. They've been living in Solbrun ever since. Kurmarsh was always good with a sword and shield, as well as a double-handed longsword. So he kind of got co-opted into the military, sort of. He was always Laverne's training partner, where Eartha Marsh was always Polly's training partner, and they grew up really close. Since age is different between dwarves and orcs, though relatively they're on the same maturity level, Polly and Laverne were like aunt and uncle to Kurmarsh and Eartha Marsh, respectively, and they kind of just paired off in that way. But Kurmarsh grew up hard and fast because Laverne was his aunt, and she is a barbarian, so it was just nothing but fighting pretty much all the time, which Kurmarsh excelled at. Kind of got co-opted into the military, but didn't want to like straight up sign up, and it was also during still a time where it was a bit for beastier races to be accepted into the military. So what ended up happening, he ended up training alongside the military in District 2, but not technically a part, where everyone in District 2, especially Solbrun, knew him and knew their family and knew that they were good people, so they were cool with it. But he couldn't be attached to something and then get transferred somewhere, because then they would be like, why the fuck do you have an orc with you? So he kind of akin trained with the people in the military until he got to a point where he created his own style of fighting, mainly because everyone who was learning in Solbrun is a lot shorter than he is. So he took a different approach to use his size and strength for him in the fighting style, created his own thing, which he excelled at, and especially when some of the larger humans, some of the thicker half elves, and then as the Goliaths started to get integrated, they all started learning off of Kurmarsh, and Kurmarsh then got contracted by the military to teach his way of fighting to other districts. And since then, that's pretty much what he's been doing. And then he kind of slightly, and then my brother and Polly and the whole multi-dimension thing, but I'm sure you already know about that.
Rajaj is gonna be like, yeah.
Just ask him; he'll tell you. And then he would tell you about the time where Laverne got sick and she went into a coma, especially towards the end of the drinks, where he's starting to be a little bit more emotionally available. He'd tell you how hard it was, watching someone who he's always looked to for such a strong foundation all of a sudden just being taken out by some unknown source, and how that actually pissed him off, and he went to a few different countries to try and figure out what was going on with her and if there was some sort of remedy that other cultures may have harnessed. He ended up talking to the Dreamweavers down in Cydia. He ended up talking to the High Elves in Artemir. He ended up talking to the Tritons off the cliffs. He ended up talking to the gnomes in Grillus. And there's one more. I forgot where it was. And then it was the the plant people in the Zarfael jungle. And though he tried different concoctions to try and wake her up, or pull her soul back into her body, or try and find the tether of etherealness, like all these things that he learned about, and nothing worked. And so he just had to resign himself to staying in Solbrun, going out maybe a week or two to go help train some new place, but he used his pull to get all the training moved into Solbrun so he wouldn't have to be too far away from Laverne.
Yeah, with that whole conversation about Laverne and stuff, Rachel would sort of just like nod in understanding and sort of with the best of his ability explain the whole tat situation where she was on her deathbed and stuff. But then like all of a sudden she felt better, and something about a concoction being made and not exactly knowing who did it or anything. Kind of asking a little bit about those plant people, because maybe that was part of it, or like where that jungle is, maybe. He'll even roll out the world map if he wants to point it out.
Yeah. And you guys have the actual world map, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he has the world map, and then he's got like two other maps, but nothing.
Yeah, the Zarfael jungle is underneath Grillus. It's the continent to the east of Ixian Campaign.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of it probably being charades for you.
Yeah, he does have some words from that conversation, so he'd be able to explain at least a little bit. Especially, I think the one that really comes into mind is "It's my own concoction" with a weird Scottish accent.
Okay. But yeah, so he would, with a little alcohol in him, he can follow along a little bit better, kind of blur the edges of the lines and mesh things a little bit easier without having to try and think too hard. So
I'll use my mage hand as like the opposing actor of all of my conversation.
So basically, he follows along, asks a question here or there to help clarify some things, and you just, sort of when you get to the end and she got better, he kind of like perks up and is like, "Well, good for you," and like kind of like punches your shoulder and just like, let's get another round of drinks and kind of just be happy for you that at least it was able to all come out positively.
Yeah, he'll be happy. He's like very sudden, confusing, but happy.
Well, it's better than it not happening, right?
He'll just nod and squint and smile.
So yeah, and by the time that he's finished with his story, you're finished with your story. The drinks have been flowing, mainly in his cup. But he's there for more convo. But that liquor wall has now risen to the point where you can put a topic out in front of him, and he's gonna latch onto that topic and just talk fucking circles around that topic. And then you try to like switch the topic, and he's like, "No, we're going back to why alligators have so many teeth, and why they're green and not brown, which they live in muddy water, so you think brown would be the better color for them to blend in more." So he's kind of at that point now.
He's just sort of nodding along, and it's like makes a lot of sense. Just sort of like, in a way, not enabling is not the right word, but just like yes manning everything he's saying. Like, right on, bro.
All right. So after a few hours after his story and your story, you're free to leave him be. It'd still only be about like 10:30, 11.
Sounds good. He'll probably go back to the inn and head to bed then, spending about an hour or so reading the book that Caparin gave him.
I feel like, oh my, would happen a lot.
Probably, but he's also doing it as stealthy as possible. Like, he has stealthed to read this book.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll stealth. As well, you stealthed enough to get past everyone who would give you shit for it.
The
Luckily,
Omais gave it away for Caparin in our room.
as for everybody else, you guys leave Kurmarsh and Racha to enjoy their conversation and some bro time. You all have gone to dinner, get some food, say it's a silver apiece. Amric joins you for this dinner. You inform him of the training schedule for the day next. He goes, "Oh fuck, that's early," and after dinner bounces.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bryn's gonna have to bounce too.
Seeing them go to bed early, I'm gonna head over to Hell's Gate and maybe drink with my dad if he shows up.
Let's see where your dad's at. Good old D12, where are you at? It's over here. That's why. Come on. There we go. He is currently at a white beard.
I'll just stay where I am. No big deal.
No worries.
They know me here.
Yep. That they do. But, anybody else for anything before the night is out?
And Ari will probably just end up going with Bren.
If Capone ever runs into Rochelle again for the night, he would ask for the Radican if Rochelle has it. If not, Capone is working on dolls for the evening.
What's your passive perception? Well, if you're looking for a Chaw, then you get to make a perception check.
Okay. Capone's gonna make a perception check.
Good luck. Specifically in the room.
Nope.
Nope.
There is no bird.
So Capone is just happily working on his dolls for the rest of the evening.
All right. You swear randomly you hear, "Oh my!" You're just like,
Right in time when he punctures one of his fingers a
Yeah.
little bit, so he thinks he says it himself.
It's in my voice somehow.
yeah. So, with that, you guys get to sleep in your own times. Polly, you enjoy a night at the bar to the point where you're like, okay, that's enough. Probably say 2 gold in. You're just like, got my buzz. You haven't had like a night of drinking by yourself in a while, so it's kind of a nice. It's like every now and then going to the movies by yourself. It's just like, you know what, this is kind of nice. And just enjoy it. You're not there for anything but to have a few drinks and just enjoy yourself and get to bed at your own time. But at 4 a.m., man, that bitch comes early. I can almost see, like... You know what? Let's see. Go ahead and roll a con save, Bryn.
But no, why?
Alright, you wake up before Emmerich. I was gonna have Emmerich wake up before you, knock on your door, and just have you both go into a panic. Early in the morning, knock on the door, Nori comes up while changing into like a ferret or something.
What did Kapoor break?
There's what would happen.
But you wake up shortly before Emmerich does, enough to get to his door and kind of lightly rap on it.
I imagine Bryn wakes up and Nori's all cuddled up and just goes, "Have fun."
I feel like Nori like sleeps through it and then just starts shivering as Bryn's body heat's gone. Then she kind of wakes up to that and goes, "Oh, have fun." And then Bryn comes with like 5 more blankets, like poof. And then
I was just gonna have me wild shape just to have like fur on me.
well, you can wild shape into a small furry thing, so that way the 5 blankets seems like 500 blankets.
You go reach in, you pull out Squirrel Nori from the middle of the whole pile.
Yeah, Bryn throws it, sees like the outline of Nori, and then all of a sudden, it's gone. It's just this little tiny like.
I feel like it would be a cat. It would just be a
Yeah,
cat.
probably.
All you hear is the.
Little purring.
Yeah. But you lightly rap on the door, and Emmerich is already getting his things ready as he kind of like comes out and follows you, and it's just like, man, this sucks. This is early.
I mean, you don't have to come if you don't want to.
Already up.
Okay. You don't have to do it tomorrow.
Wait, you're doing it tomorrow?
I was considering it. I guess depends on how today goes.
Let's see how today goes first. Let's not make any hasty decisions right now.
Yeah, you know, I did say we would be punching bags, so might not want to take too much of that.
So, you guys head down, head northwards, then westwards to the northwest gates, outside where you see a very sleepy northeast gate, and you guys go out to be greeted by about 30 very sleepy, some supporting themselves on different weapons and along the side of the building, some like leaned up against one another. Very like 16, 17, 18-year-old boys and girls of different races, because they all kind of are just trying to survive. And you see three, two Goliath and one just large human man. They're the only ones that are like awake and like ready to go. They're all currently like in a little triangle conversing with one another. As the gate kind of opens and you guys walk out, some of the kids, oh, oh fuck, okay. The three taller gentlemen kind of like look over their shoulder and see that it's not Kermarsh and go back to their conversation.
I'm assuming Bryn's had to go through something like this, so she's probably used to it, right?
To a degree.
Yeah, I mean, obviously probably not the exact same.
Yeah,
but...
you did the Valkyrie stuff, so yours is a little bit different, a little bit more strict. Not really strict, but since it was its own community, it all kind of have a different. But yeah, you're fine. But it's a couple minutes later before the doors open again, and this kid, God bless his soul, pants 3/4 of the way up, shirt completely unbuttoned. He's dragging like his sheaths on his pants, which aren't all the way up, so his longsword's just like getting caught in the mud behind him as he's like trying to hold and put his shield back on his back. He's just a hot mess. He's like, everybody wake up. I saw Kermarsh. He's almost here. Oh god. And then like one of his friends kind of like comes up and like is starting to help him button his top tunic, but he's still super sleepy, so it's like the buttons are off by like 2 buttons. So and this kid's more worried about like putting his pants on and getting his sword and shield, and then he looks down and his shirt's just all fucked. And he's just like, oh fuck, I don't have time to fix this. So he kind of just holds the shield in front of his chest.
And at this point, Emmerich and I are good to go, right? We're not like we're not a mess like them.
No,
Great.
no. As the gates open up once more and Kermarsh comes through, and as Kermarsh steps out, he looks over everybody. Well, why the fuck aren't we in formation? As all the kids kind of like start to scramble, some that are still sleeping on like getting supported by someone else fall and slip as the one person did wake up and ran. It's just a conglomeration of fuck ups all running at one another, and people are like putting each other in the correct spots. And then you just see the 3 taller individuals kind of move up to the front of their lines and turn around and kind of like look at the people that are right next to them, kind of just slapping people awake, like fucking wake up, dude. And after the slapathon is over, you guys are kind of just standing over like, well, we don't know where to go. So you all kind of like just edge your way closer to Kermarsh, and like Kermarsh just standing there. He like sees you, and he kind of just gestures to his side as you guys like Looney Tunes over sideways, walk over next to him. Some of the people are kind of like, oh shit, are they new instructors? Oh fuck. Kermarsh waits till everyone's information. Alright. He kind of gestures with his head. This is Bryn and Amric. They're going to be my partners for the day. So, some of you get a reprieve. And so you got 5 rows of people in front of him. The 3 big guys at the front of the rows to the left. Then you got 2 rows with smaller people at the front. But the one on the far right, there's this little guy, 5'3", who is just fucked up. Like his face is blue and purple, and different parts of his arm have like old and new bandages all over them. Like, you see some bruises upon everybody, but this kid, man, he is just. If you could envision Nori as a fighter, like, this is it. Like, scrawny, like, you just look at him and go, what are you doing here? But he's got, like, this determined little chip into his, he's just like he's ready. But he's got this kind of, like, relieved, like, oh, thank God, look in his eyes. You just look at him and you go, oh, wow, he bruises easily. I can tell. He's one of those people that is all damage has advantage on him. So, all right, first, formation partners, let's get to work. Everyone, start your maneuvers. And they get into practicing. So my question comes down to, for Bryn and Amric. Amric has already kind of reached out to me and asked me. But for Bryn, is there anything specific that you're trying to do or trying to learn in this situation? Amric says he wants to change out one of his maneuvers. He said he wanted to change out. Where is it? Right here. And this is over a couple days of training. He wanted to change out one of his battle maneuvers for ambush, which Kurmarsh does have. So that's the main focus of Amric doing this training. What are you trying to get out of this?
Didn't realize that was a thing. I don't know. Sorry. Lame response, I know. I probably just experience at this point just to have more practice, because we haven't really fought in a while either. Just to make sure everything is sharp, I guess. I don't know.
So just general
Knowledge bullshit crap, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me an athletics check.
I don't know if it's on par with Cookie Cutter, and we should all be taking shots to those.
What?
I don't know. Is like on par with the Cookie Cutter phrase.
Oh, as far as what you guys say?
Yes.
I don't know. Drink. You guys get fucked up and be very hydrated by the end of the night if I don't know was a drinking phrase. That's like the from How I Met Your Mother. Yeah. Alright. So you got 20. Since you're not really trying to learn anything.
I mean, kind of like what happened with her, I guess, when she was with Jeanette. If there's something that
was
I don't know,
more specific because
no, yeah, definitely, but I don't know.
Because she was trying to impart wisdom to you for something
That's
specific.
fair.
Kurmarsh is more of like, you have me, what do you want of me? And you're like, I just want to train.
I don't know.
I know.
That's Becca talking. Do you think Bryn would have anything? Because I have no fucking clue.
I mean, it's Bryn, so you play Bryn.
I'm horrible at this part of it. This is not the good part for me.
Well, you don't have to make the decision now. I've got your role, so
Great.
that'll decide things later if you decide something. But for now,
Bryn, but she's not actually a woman with a sword and a shield.
Is it enough for like a feat or something, or is it
It could
something
be.
less than that?
But it would also
Alright.
have to be a feat that Kurmarsh has. Because he can't teach you something he doesn't know, you know? And the only feat that he
Gotcha.
has is athlete.
I mean that particular feat sounds exactly kind of what she's saying, in all honesty, but it could be something else too.
Yeah, that feat is basically more of like, it's not fight training. That's more of, oh, I'm going to do track and field.
Yeah, for the most part. The only other thing I could think of is, isn't there a feat that is like you get a single use of a superiority die or something like that?
What is it? I think it's like fighting initiate.
I'm trying to find it here.
Fighting initiate gives you one fighting style option of your choice from the fighter class. If you already have a style, the one you choose must be different.
Martial Adept. That's the one. You get 2 maneuvers from the Battlemaster archetype, and you get 1 die for it.
Gotcha. To learn a feat, though, would require multiple rolls over about 3 days worth of training. If it was something like Amric is doing, just wanting to swap out a maneuver, that's easy enough. That's easier to do. He only needed 1 roll, and he passed it. But like I said, you don't need to make the choice now. We got your first roll. And we can put that down. So while they're doing that between the hours of 4 a.m. and noon, so everyone else wakes up to the morning, to breakfast.
I'll head over to my mom's house
Okay.
if nobody's up in the morning. I'll be up at like 6-ish.
Nori, yeah, everyone would probably be up decently early. Except for Cha.
But Kaporin doesn't sleep in every day?
Fine, occasionally,
He got tired of poking his own fingers with the needle last night, so he went to bed at a decent time.
And Nori
Yeah,
just
you
comes down. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Noi. I think the bird's still asleep, but the other 2 are gone, I think.
Yes, they left to go do training stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know what they left for, but I know they were up rather early.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 a.m.
Like 2 hours
I
ago.
don't know, even I was still asleep.
That's why I didn't hear Bryn yelling my name in the morning. Okay.
I think I can't
did-
wake up until
What?
like 7:30.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nothing.
Kaporin, don't
Nothing.
forget you have an appointment at the academy today at noon.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that one.
There's a lot less smut in that library, FYI.
But
Oh,
it's
actually-
greater than 0, apparently.
Very
Roll
spicy
perception.
memoir.
Does Kaporn find the one smut book in the entire academy library?
With your investigation score, probably not.
Do I know of any smut in that library?
The amount of time you actually spend in the library, probably not.
True. I'll take it.
Okay, I should say, the amount of time you spend in there awake, probably not. But the dogs are up too.
I know this really great history book that makes a really wonderful pillow.
It's a pop up,
Interesting.
and there's a page where it's clouds, and it's just great.
You know, when you close it it kind of squishes a little bit, so it has a little give. It's really nice.
What were you doing sleeping in a library?
Sadly, that's pretty much all I do in a library.
And it's so quiet.
I think this is what the bookkeeper was telling me about.
What do you mean?
You're not friends of books?
I mean, I don't mean them any harm. I just, yeah, they kind of bore me. They're kind of one of those friends that you just kind of walk away from after a little while because they're pretty uninteresting. Either that or they just have way too much to say and you can't comprehend all of it, so you walk away because you're done.
Kaporin is having a midlife crisis right now.
Well, that's
Nora's
that's one way to.
Nora's awkwardly looking at Kaporin, side-eyed, like, "Oh shit! Don't tell him that."
Sure, Polly. Okay.
That's an interesting way to look at books.
Well, I try not to look at books, but so here's the deal though in the library. I know it's kind of one of those things that should be pretty obvious, but you can't talk. Like, unless you're talking to the librarian, you kind of can't talk. And I would say you kind of have to have respect for the books because I've been hit in the head by a few of them and they don't like me very much right now.
Sentient books there?
No, not quite sentient. There's
Animated?
this I mean, there's this platform that you kind of go up on and you kind of think of like what kind of books you want. And depending on how reverent you are to them or respectful is how quickly they shoot at your head.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of like a mental card catalog, but with projectiles.
But with Uzis.
Thank you for letting me know that. Warren's gonna go back upstairs to his room to pack a pillow. Try to catch these books if he goes up on that thing.
You know, find Richon and get that moldy coconut helmet.
Hey, Nori, are you busy today?
No, not particularly.
Because I know is it still raining outside?
No.
It looks like it's clearing up outside, or it might, in a couple hours. There is if you don't have anything else to do, there's a wildlife sanctuary in the north part of the city. If you want to check it out, I can direct you or drop you off either way.
Yeah, that'd be great. You can direct me towards there. So you're going to your mother, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to my mom's house, see if I can catch my dad before he goes to work. If not, I'm gonna hang out with him. I got some stuff to talk about.
Oh, good luck. So where is it?
Northwest corner of the city. Just head north and then turn left.
All right. Thank you.
And I will finish my morning ale and bid adieu and head to my parents' house.
Roger that.
Richa, after waking up, will spend at least this first day on the bleachers next to Kermarsh's training, cheering on Brandon Ammer. He'll be the soccer mom.
Yeah, Nori would probably go check out the what's it called? The wildlife sanctuary, and then go see Brandon Amrick's training.
Okay.
And while my dad's working, I'm gonna try to have a conversation about theology. Kind of keeping it vague because I don't want to tell him who I'm actually talking about, but that kind of stuff. Maybe get some insight.
Yeah, you're used to talking to your dad when he's working, and especially if he's like actually forging something. He's got the dink 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 dink. So you know to like ask your question, like stop your sentence when he does the 3 hits. Say your sentence, stop your sentence. Like, so it's a very cut up conversation, but still easily had. What exactly are you asking him?
I don't know. I haven't. I had a note to talk to him about it. I didn't have any notes on what to ask him. You can come back to me.
Okay, no worry. Wildlife Sanctuary. It's a decently sprawling area. The most vibrant of plant life and animal life, but in the city besides the nursery. But this is much more natural chaos of plant life compared to the nursery, where everything's sectioned off into its own place and taken care of that way. This one's very much kind of let it grow, and the animals that coexist in each of the habitats, or not the habitats, but the environment that is currently growing, they all reside. Go ahead and give me. Well, how much time do you want to spend there?
Let's see. We woke up at 6, and then Brennan and Amrick's training ends at noon.
Yeah.
Um,
By the time that you make it there, it's probably 7.
3-4 hours.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an investigation check. Because this wildlife sanctuary, it's not so much like a zoo where you can just go up to the window and be like, oh, this is the baboon's ass. And all the information on baboon's ass. This is much more of a, like the safari zoos where you have to go into it to go see the creatures. So this is very much trudging through the growth and through the different environments to see the different creatures that reside here.
Taking advantage of my immunity to difficult terrain.
Well, yeah, but this is more of taking your time to find a creature den, to, see the little nests that some creatures make. Some creatures live in trees, others live underground. So it's more of a Where's Waldo of creatures.
Only got a 13, but with my +0, that's above average.
So out of everything that you come across, you see 3 things that you don't already know. The first one is when, so the wildlife sanctuary itself has sort of its own moat in its own sort of self-perpetuating river that kind of goes around everything. It's like a moat, but it has the current of a river. Decently large and decently deep, but there's places to cross many different sections. Many little bridges are made. You're kind of going through the sanctuary until you hear some splashing happening. First you think, oh shit, did someone fall in somewhere? But you're like, wait, it's pretty early. I was the only one I saw. And you kind of start to look in the water. And you see about 8 feet long and proportionally as big, kind of coming up out of the water, going onto one of the banks and just kind of shaking itself off. It looks to be a giant otter. As the first one comes out, it grabs what to you is a giant boulder. To it, it's a decent sized rock. And it goes and kind of like pushes and rolls it up to the side of the riverbed before it jumps into the water holding it and puts it on its little tummy. And then you see its little paws go underneath the water until it brings out what looks like a big mussel, and just starts cracking the crap out of it against this boulder it has on its chest.
I'm the only one here, right?
Currently.
Yeah, can Nori cast speak with animals? She's just to, I don't know, kind of want to understand them.
It's decently far off. It's not like right next to the bridge where you're at, but they're so large you can see everything that's going on. They're probably like
All
a
right.
good 100 feet away.
Yeah, then I won't do that, and I'll just kind of watch.
But it cracks the muscle until another, and then once it starts to eat, another otter comes over and it like takes some of the muscle and like hands it over to the other otter, and they end up holding feet together as they eat the muscle, and then they kind of just the river ends up taking them further away from you as they're just
That's
riding the
adorable.
current.
May I ask the challenge rating of these lovely
The
creatures?
challenge rating for the giant otter is a CR4. Seeing as how they can pick up ton boulders without a problem.
So can't summon that one yet.
The next thing that you come across, so after you see the otters and you cross the bridge and you start to move through, you get through this decently viney portion of the environment, and you're expecting more like vine-like material to be on the other side. But as you step through, your foot impacts, and it's nothing but not quite sand. It's somewhere in between sand and gravel. But your foot hits it and kind of makes that gravel gives. And like, this is interesting. And out in front of you is just what looks to be a few 100 feet in all directions in front of you. Just this not quite gravel place in front. Black, gray stones spreads out in front of you. There's little mounds of it here and there, but nothing tall, ridiculous, or seemingly like, oh, something's there. It's just naturally formed in different places, and you could see some tracks of footprints of people walking through here at one point, and just different, animal tracks that have also traveled through here. Obviously, being a wildlife sanctuary, there is some probably animal on animal violence, just naturally, but probably for the sake of the animals here, all of them coexist for the most part. So seeing the animal tracks going through here doesn't necessarily mean that that's the tracks of whatever creature's here. But as you kind of walk around and you're trying to figure out, well, what creature would live in this environment? Maybe like a lizard, or some sort of scorpion, or something of that nature. It's until like you get to about midway, you've kind of like gone to some of the mounds and lightly brushed them aside just to see if maybe they're hiding something, maybe something's sleeping underneath, but nothing. It's just mounds. Until you hear this movement through the gravel and kind of stop and, oh shit. You kind of look, and just like every good scary monster movie, you see the gravel sort of fishtailing as something's underneath heading towards you. You're like, fuck. You shouldn't run. You shouldn't make any sudden movements. This is an open to everyone thing, so you're probably not in any danger. But it still doesn't make you feel good because the length of whatever this thing that's moving towards you is about 40 feet long.
Flashbacks to Purple Worm.
As you kind of sit there and you're just like, okay, we're good. And just like any good monster movie, the fishtailing stops from you about 60 feet or so. Or it doesn't technically stop, it just goes down further. And then in one of the mounds directly behind you, it slowly starts to rise. Not making too much noise at the beginning, but eventually the little gravel pieces kind of it makes you kind of do the slow turn over. As soon as you make full movement and contact looking at this mound that has been rising, burst of gravel out in front just sprays you down, and the sun gets blocked out for a good while as something is jumping over you. And then impacts. And you're just like, you do the slow turn back to see what it was. Standing about 20 feet tall and 45 feet long. It's this gigantic creature. Reptilian to a degree. Almost somewhat lizard-like, but instead of regular scales, these are like armored scales, possibly akin to some sort of dragon. And it's got this long tail that makes up about half of its body, so half of its length. And at the end of the tail, there's this long hypodermic needle of a point. And this tail is whipping and almost has like hyper control of it, almost cat-like, as it's kind of just flowing behind it. And it's just staring at you. Big old lizard face. And it kind of gets down closer to your level. Its head alone is about 5 feet tall. So it puts its chin against the ground and kind of just slides it across the gravel towards you. And then this little forked tongue just comes out and smacks you a couple times. And you're just like, oh, okay. And it just...
Hello there.
Smack.
Can Nori cast Speak with Animals? This might not be an animal. This might be like a monstrosity, but
You're guessing it's probably not an animal.
Yeah, then I won't. But yeah, she'll just quietly say hello. And maybe like hold her hand out, but cautiously.
Yeah. Smack. Smacks your hand around a little bit. As you kind of hold your hand out, it just pushes its nose like directly up to your hand. So it's touching.
Patting them on the nose.
Well, I knew you were a druid, but I didn't think that you were that friendly. A voice behind you.
Nori turns around.
Certain Asimar individual is standing there.
Hello.
So you met my friend.
This is your friend.
And he kind of... And as it does so, you, looking back at Illinade, but your hand out on the creature, it just seems to vanish. And you feel the ground kind of get unstable for a moment as it's dived underneath. And you see the trail of the gravel before it comes popping out underneath Illinade's arm. And Illinade holds his hand out, like to his side. And with the amount of force that this creature comes out, you're thinking, oh, your arm's going to get ripped off. But it just smacks up against Illinade's arm. And almost like a child trying to push past their parent's arm. Illinade just palms him there. So it's just this giant creature's head poking out of the ground. And it's trying to push, and Illinade's just like looking at it. We go way back.
A beautiful creature.
I'm guessing you don't know what this is.
I have no idea what this is.
Well, for a first time interacting, definitely positive on your end, I'd have to say. These, and he kind of goes down and grabs the creature by like the back of the jaw. It kind of like pulls him and like kind of wrestles him forward and kind of like throws him out, sliding him out of the ground until he's out in front of him. And Illinade jumps on top of the back of him. And you see the creature kind of just like he just got manhandled. He's just like, son of a bitch. And Illinade's just sitting on top of him and just patting like his lower back. This is a Krelonite.
May I receive the spelling for that?
Krelonite. They're an offshoot of dragons from a long time ago. Not many still survive and are highly endangered, but we've set up a couple islands where they survive now and have been procreating. Their numbers have tripled in the last 50 years. And, well, this little guy I raised from when he was only about 7 feet long. Which, that's a baby in their situation. But I couldn't let him go, so I brought him with me.
Does he have a name?
Master Chief.
Hello, Master Chief.
He's been with me through thick and thin and in many battles. So, when he's not being used for war, he enjoys his vacation time here.
Well, I quite like him.
I quite like him too. But, Master Chief, we gotta do some work. Gotta cut your vacation short. You could tell that it understands Illinay because it's kind of harumphing and doing a little bit of a tantrum as its legs are kind of just kicking gravel out. Like, I don't want to go. He's like, Illinay jumps down and goes over to the face. And just like some lizards do when they just are on their stomach and they let their arms just sploot out. Illinay goes over to the face and just kind of... As soon as the creature sees Illinay come to the front, it closes its eyes. Illinay comes over and knocks on its... like, in the bridge between its eyes, like, wakey, wakey. He's like, come on. Sooner we do this, sooner you can come back.
So there's a battle to be fought.
Let's just say there's other things that Master Chief's good at.
All right.
And so he kind of... Master Chief, if you do this, I'll restock the channels for you. One of the eyes kind of opens up. That means you can have a snack before we go. You see the lizard just push itself off the ground and immediately doosh, 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 as it starts heading off roughly in the direction that you were going, but it's not going underground. It's just happy prancing its way westward from you currently. And Illinay starts to walk and follow with a big smile on his face. And kind of stops and looks at you. I know druid thing, but it's his nature.
Oh, no, I was not bothered by that. He's carnivore. He needs his food. Otherwise, he'll get sick.
Exactly. And Chanol is his favorite meat.
I don't know what that is either.
Well, if you're quick enough, you can go see one before Master Chief gets a hold of him.
All right. Guess Nori's going over there.
Okay. So, you guys move at a brisk pace as Illinade's decently tall, and his leg stride is much larger than yours. Now you understand what Polly has to go through. As Illinade is... And for someone who's got a decently long gait, that's a fast walk. And so you're like, oh, okay, we're
So he's just speed walking, and Nori's just like having to intermittently run to
yeah.
catch up with him.
It's a jog walk, jog walk, jog walk. So he ends up stopping, and you kind of are in the middle of your jog portion, so you almost run into him, and you stop at the last second. You now have moved from this sort of desert-esque style of landscape to almost snow. It's cold, and everything has a white tint to it, but it's not actual snow. It looks to be some sort of faux snow that doesn't melt. So it's supposed to give that... It may be a snow, but it doesn't feel like it. You're not sure what's going
Continual
on.
flame, but snow.
To a degree. Obviously, landscape has to be tailored to the creatures that live there, so this must be something of that nature. But Ilinade kind of looking out, and then he points to you, and if he didn't point it out, you wouldn't have seen it. Because every now and then, as the wind kind of picks up, it picks up this snow. It almost leaves like a flurry behind, and kind of obfuscates a little bit of your sight as you're looking through. And it's only when the wind blows and moves some of this faux snow that the creature moves as well. And the only way you can tell that you see this creature is the black in its eye. It's so white and blends in so well. Even though it's decently large, you can't, like, even with your passive perception, it's very hard to see. But also, you do not see Master Chief anywhere. So, this, as Ilinade is pointing it out and tracking with his finger, making it much easier for you to see, this creature is decently large. It resembles what a terror bird would look like. So, sort of ostrich-esque, but with smooth yellow feather coat. So much tighter, not as fluffy as an ostrich. And the feathers go all the way up the neck and over the face. It's classified as a huge creature, but moves so gracefully through everything that Racha would be ashamed. And it has...
Monstrosity or beast?
This one is a beast. But it is a CR9 creature.
I can polymorph someone.
So, as it's moving and Ilinade's tracing it with you, he then picks up another hand. And as he's tracing, he just goes 3, 2, 1. And flying from seemingly out of nowhere, Master Chief comes flying in. And this creature sees him at the last second, and you just see this puff of green gas just spew out from this creature as it opens its mouth and lets forth poison breath. But it doesn't seem to affect Master Chief. Master Chief doesn't land on it. He actually goes over the creature, and the hypodermic needle goes in, stingray style, directly to the heart. And the creature kind of just shakes violently, almost like it has blur or haste on. It's like it seems to be over stimulated before it just falls down dead. Ilinade points out, so Master Chief's tale is very specific, comes in very handy in certain situations, and can even bring back people from death. But to someone who's awake and living, it's like taking every drug known to humankind all at once until your heart explodes. And then as you both kind of look back over, you just see Master Chief unhinging its jaw and starting to swallow this creature whole. And there's the fun
Very
part.
impressive creature. Yeah, that that is, I can imagine how he would be useful.
But now that he's had his meal, unfortunately, I think it's time for us to go. All right,
Maybe
Master
we could
Chief, come
perhaps-
on. Master Chief kind of takes his time. The last couple feet just outside the mouth, like, no, I don't want to. Ilene just looking at him like, dude, we need to go, until finally he swallows the last bit and makes his way a bit slower than usual, as he's now full, over to Ilene. Ilene kind of opens both of his hands out, almost at first like he's praying, and then separates them, and as he does so, this black void opens up between them, and he kind of pushes his hands like this, and then pushes the void towards Master Chief, and Master Chief jumps into it and disappears.
Nori will, before he does something to poof away, Nori will go, "You see any of my family, tell them I say hi."
Oh, Illinade hasn't poofed away yet. He is just putting Master Chief away for now. But you say that to Illinade, he goes, I don't have a dance party set up with RX for at least another couple weeks. And, I mean, I don't have any plans to see Valek anytime soon.
But they're all okay?
Yeah, from what I know. If anything, I'll probably see your mother first. And then he kind of like reaches in his pocket. And then,
Wait, what?
as you're kind of focused on that, he hands you something. And he kind of puts it into your hands clasped. Take care of everyone, right?
Yeah, of course. Good luck with whatever you're doing, yes?
He kind of nods and gives you a smile, and then just steps backwards, and a flurry of snow kind of cuts in front of you, and he's gone.
Nori looks in her hands.
It's a little snowflower.
Interesting guy. Yeah, Nori's just gonna kind of carry that, unsure of what to do and a little shocked by the mother thing, because he dropped that before she could process. So she'll have to bring that up later. But I guess she's just kind of holding this flower, and what time is it?
It's like 10 o'clock.
Nori will kind of sit down in the snow for a little bit, and then just kind of processing a bit, and then she'll stand up and go head towards where Bryn and Amric are, still holding the flower.
Okay. So, as everyone eventually makes it over to Bryn and Amric's training session, Bryn, have you decided yet in what realm you might want to do training?
There's so many options.
Yep. And just FYI for everyone, whenever you get to a situation in game where you might actually get some training or knowledge, like you're actually trying to seek it out from a higher level character, expect questions like these of like, okay, well, what do you want from it? Like Nori did with Mazoga. Like, yes, you can get up to level 20 teaching in Druid, but if you did with her, it'll be a circle change.
Yeah, she's still thinking about that.
I mean, with this fighting, like, would it just be close contact, like no weapons kind of stuff?
Oh
that
no,
would be
there's
good?
definitely weapons.
Weapons, okay.
There is hand to hand as well. but they also have weapons and are because he's basically trying to turn all these people into fighters, level 1 fighters. So weapons will definitely be involved. And you can tell those 3 large guys are probably already fighters coming here to learn Kuramarsh's style.
All of a sudden, I have the Mulan song, the training montage stuck in my head.
Make a man out of you. The one that they're trying to get canceled. Yeah. I believe they're trying to stop Mulan from coming out of the vault because of that song. Because it's sexist.
Yeah.
And a black guy is the dragon.
Yeah.
It's a good song. I stand by it.
Oh, it's a great song.
Just kind of in the wrong movie.
If anything, it's female empowerment because she's better than most of the men. So,
But it's also like Disney. So
Sorry. Probably for her, I mean, to learn from Kiramarsh. So if that would be a feat or something that would help her do that, I guess.
sorry, what was the first part of that?
Something, I guess, to learn from Kiramarsh. Kiramarsh.
Yeah, you wanna learn a feat?
Well, not a feat, but like to learn his style, I guess, to add on to it. So I guess fighting initiate or martial adept, I think, is one of them, or something like that.
Yeah, to pick a different style and
Yeah.
maneuver out of it.
Yeah.
So his fighting style, it's slightly different. It's not grossly different from most of the fighting styles that are around. He's a great weapon fighter. So he's moved on to like great axes and such. So that's one thing you could learn is great weapon fighting. The other thing is that he's a battle master. But with he's been able. This would require a class change because his what's it called? I'm blanking. I gotta read it.
It's okay. She wouldn't want to change
His
class.
hit die are no longer D10s; they are D12s. So between that great weapon and his great weapon fighting, slightly variants. So most great weapon fighting, I believe it's a roll 1 or 2. You can re-roll 1s or 2s on damage dice. Just on it real quick. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, you can re-roll a 1 or 2 on damage dice with melee weapons, wielded with 2 hands. He can re-roll 1, 2s, and 3s. Plus, if he nat 20s, he can choose to double dice or re-roll as many dice as he wants to. So, nothing shittier than...
And that's just for the two-hand, when you're doing it two-handed.
Yeah, because it's a great weapon. He's basically meant to, when he hits, he fucking hits. And yeah, so it's the D12, it's the great weapon change, and some of his maneuvers are regular, plus they do a little extra. So for his bonus ones are okay, precision attack. Usually it's when you make a weapon attack roll, you expend 1 superiority die and add it to the roll before or after the roll, but before any effects are applied. His is weapon attack roll. You can roll before or after. This is to hit. So you roll a d20, and then you roll a superiority die to see to make your hit even more. But his is if you weren't gonna hit. So like after you figured out the AC, if you weren't going to hit, then you roll your superiority die and you do hit. You can count it as a crit. And then he's got Rally. On your turn, you can use a bonus action, expend a superiority die to grant a friendly creature who can see or hear you temporary HP equal to the superiority die +1. That's the usual. His will allow you to use 2 superiority die. And then he's also got Commanding Presence. When you make a charisma or an intimidation, a performance, or a persuasion check, you can expend a superiority die and add that to the ability check. He gets to add 2. But whenever he adds 2, it only costs 1 for both of those last 2 ones. So those are like his homebrewed versions of maneuvers. And then he does have the last thing. So as I believe it's racial feat, he's got the Relentless Endurance. But for a class feature feat, he's got where is it? Never-ending Resilience. So, him being a half-orc, he basically gets Relentless Endurance twice. He gets 1 for his class, and he gets 1 for his race. So, for you, it would be when you're reduced to 0 hit points, but not killed, you drop to 1 HP instead. That's his Never-ending Resilience. Out of those are all the things he could teach you, besides the D12 for HP. That's a class change thing. And then while they're strategizing, the rest of you are, yeah, go, woohoo! And then you see like Kuramarsh go and just clock the shit out of Amric, like, oh, and then turn around and like uppercut Bryn, and you're like, this isn't fair.
I think out of all of those, the resilience one,
The Never-ending Resilience?
yeah, was the one that stood out to me, I guess.
Okay. So, over 3 days, it'll take rolls all 3 days to do so, but your first one is a success. So you are good to go there. He kind of just shows you, as fighters, you guys have your, your heal? Your second wind. He basically tries to show you how to kind of inhabit that, but kind of lock it away for the never-ending resilience. Like hold on just that little piece and keep it back there and have it. He's trying to teach you on how to let it kick in at that moment when you really need it. Basically, when you go unconscious, it kind of just like steps in. It was his version because he is half-orc and has that naturally. He kind of forced how to break it down and make it into his class, which helps a lot with fighters on a front line. If they don't just immediately die, they all come back. It helped a lot in the war. So, first one, success. And by the end of the training session, those that have watched are hungry. You know, having watched all this is really taking it out of you guys. And as far as Bryn and Amric go, maybe some softer foods for lunch. Maybe some steak shakes, or some soups.
Yeah, once Nori gets over there and sees like, oh boy, Nori's gonna do her best to help. Like the whole targeted cure wounds and all that fun stuff.
Okay. It helps. But it still feel like a few teeth are a little loose. But end of the training is done. A lot of these guys, some have to be carried off. A lot of them very battered and bruised. So I'm giving you and Amric like approvals of like, thanks for taking the hits today, so none of us had to. But the rest of the day is yours.
This is still the first day, or are we skipping all the way through 3?
Unless anyone wants something to do today, we can skip on.
Did want to address the Ilianade thing.
Okay.
I actually wanted to do some stuff too in the mornings.
All right, Polly, let's go ahead.
I go to my dad's thing and kind of his forge and hang out with him and start asking like weird questions about like how do you know your god better and blah 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 blah, and getting like generic answers from him and stuff, I'm sure. And then stop talking for a while and just kind of watch him and what he's doing and realize that talking about it isn't going to help. And he is communing while he's doing what he's doing and realizing my role in all of it. And I will actually go outside of the city as well, but away from Karamarsh and everybody else, and start practicing forms and stuff, and just kind of going through different things, and at the same time kind of reaching out. Just, to see if I can, I don't know, like not manipulate, but like try to, I don't even know how to put it, like channel my god.
Sort of channel divinity.
Kind of, but not like full on.
Yeah. In the same
like
vein,
full on,
but
yeah. And just like let it work through me and stuff for the next few days and see if, not see if, but see if like it actually helps fighting style or anything like that.
okay. Make a religion check. You let the hand be guided as you're doing your thing, taking your own personal time to kind of remove yourself and just sort of let it happen. Nothing drastic happens. It's not like you release the weight of your arms and all of a sudden they come up and start doing fantastical things or anything like that. But the first day feels very... You feel a stronger connection. You're not sure why. Later, when you talk to Nori and find out that Ilianade was in town, then you know why. Because he was nearby. But as far as everything goes, you're sort of moving with everything, and when you sort of let it go and let it happen, you realize that you're starting to do things quicker. Certain hand motions and movements of things, the less you think about it, for stuff you've done constantly, healing word, cure wounds, a lot of that stuff is getting faster and faster. And the more you work at it, the more you think you might be able to turn some of these things that you would have to usually use actions for into bonus actions. It's going to take more work, though. But it's on the right path.
Well, as long as it's kind of sort of something's happening, or I'm feeling it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're
I
definitely
will
feeling it.
actually wake up with the others in the morning and just practice my forms and everything like that every day.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Kaporin has some library time he needs to do. So this would actually go in right when you guys are getting done with the training. Kaporin? Kaporin? Hi.
I saw you zoned out.
Yeah, library books.
But
Non-smut stuff.
I zone out during
That's
books
what-
too.
I was reading something. Anything else? Reading books about books.
He's
Good
reading
point,
smut about smut.
Not on my work time. Where this is work right now. Um,
He's reading a book about a person who read 50 Shades of Grey.
It's
That'd be
distressing
really
that that book exists in this world.
it does. It's let's never find it. But yeah, Kaporn just wanted to go to the library, see if he could find any other either folklore stuff focusing about like traveling in or like travel magic in the area, because a lot of magic was put in folklore back in the day. But if not, he's also just kind of interested in just picking up new songs if he can find anything like that in the archives or something similar.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Okay.
Okay. You're decent at when you talk to the librarian, he's trying to help you and get an idea of what you're looking for specifically, and so you have a decent shot at telling him like what you're trying to find as far as the travel folklore stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up getting a few books for you that are available. He does say that a lot of magic stuff is restricted. Though Ixia is starting to open up to magic a little bit more, it's not like, oh, you want magic? Here's all the things we know about magic. Have fun.
Right.
It's still very much controlled. And since you technically don't have a connection to the Ixian military, you're clear.
I think Kaporn understand. Yeah, above his pay grade, right?
Yeah.
But definitely, if he can find anything that will shave off time on our travels, he's all for that.
As far as travel magic goes, you're not really going to find any. I mean, obviously, you'll find some books that reference teleportation or, druids, wild shaping, stuff that you've sort of either encountered or know of already, but nothing new. Nothing. You're not going to find a book on here's the top 15 teleportation circles in your area. It's not an apartments.com ad. Like, you're not. It's very much just either references or talking about most of the stuff that you already know. And really, the only thing that you might find that's sort of slightly new is something that Nori's talked about, but you've never actually seen happen, is where she can transport via plants. Where it just talks about a druid who specifically grew this giant oak in her backyard. So she could use it for transport via plants because she ended up being like 400 years old.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
And after
but yeah.
150 years, an oak is large enough to be transport via planted.
Odd leaps. That's interesting information for Kaporn to learn.
But yeah, so
But yeah,
as far as music goes, I mean, obviously this library, I think this is the first academy you've really been into, library wise. It's very much different than anything you've dealt with.
mhm.
There's hundreds of shelves with books all along them, and probably a good 3/4 of them are behind the banister in the restricted section. You do go up to a podium. The librarian gives you the names of the books prior, and then you go up to the podium and you think of the name of the book. And as you think of it, it flies out. It doesn't hit you in the head unless you're a little shit. Then it'll hit you in the head. But as long knowing you that you have to be reverent, you're probably like, "Oh, please, goodness, book of the stories of the traveling bard. Please grace my." And no, it's literally the librarian would be like, "Dude, shut up. All you have to do is think of the name of the book." And it floats out and it lands on the podium, and then you just take it off and then think of the next book.
And so unless the book knows you're Polly, then it won't come flying out your head.
Well, when you just kind of like blurt and yell it out in the middle of the library when you've told to be quiet already, then it'll come flying at your head, which is, I believe, was what happened to Polly. But yeah, so that's the summoning situation, so you don't have to go down the aisles of books to find it. But as you talk to the librarian, you're like, "Is there a book of songs that you have?" The librarian will literally deadpan stare at you and go, "No, we don't keep a list of songs here."
Rude.
It's like, "This is for academic purposes only, and any songs that have useful information in them, in our regards, have been transcribed not in song form." You
So
would
sad.
you would think a library where they value silence wouldn't be open to having bards possibly come here and learn songs.
How sad. I feel so uncultured. No songs.
He looks
The
at you and
point
you
is-
say uncultured, and he goes, "Yes, no songs. Sorry, we're not cultured enough for you. Please feel free to take your culturedness right out the front door."
Fine. Thank you, I guess. Goodbye.
Goodbye, I guess. So,
Or I just piss the librarian.
as soon as you leave the front doors, you only have access to the library, so you're escorted out of the academy grounds. Nori, you said you were about to say you wanted to do something.
Nori would, after their train, she'd bring up the thing with Ilianade, and just be like, a little confused, like, I just bring up like, "Oh, they haven't seen my family in a while," all that fun stuff, and she holds up the flowers, like, "I don't know what this means, but he gave it to me."
Who are you talking to?
Hopefully you and Bryn.
I mean, from what I know of it, it's kind of a blessing. I wouldn't throw it away. I would definitely hold on to it, keep it somewhere safe.
I wasn't planning on throwing it away.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that he gave it to you.
Are the three of us alone, or is Amric with us?
No, Amric's gonna go fucking sleep.
I kind of look at Bryn for a second, and like things like pass through my brain a little bit, and you see me thinking, and then I just kind of nod and be like, "You know what? I think it's probably a good time to bring this up, since we're alone, and he did that." So there was kind of a deity switch a while ago for me. and it turns out that the god who uh, took me in and helped me is kind of Illinade.
And he's also my god.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
kind of
didn't
keep it to
know if I
yourself.
should tell you last when I told you about it after I met him officially as that.
I mean, he did stop a 20 feet tall, 40 feet long giant lizard with a poison tail with a single hand. So that makes sense now. Okay,
I feel like Rachel would
interesting.
be like in
Bazoga
the
can do that
background going,
too,
"What the
but-
fuck?"
He's just sort of listening intently, and then she says that, and he's just giving the yep, sounds right.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh shit.
Why haven't you guys brought this up before?
Um, there's some extenuating circumstances that come along with it, and we would definitely prefer that we kind of keep it on the down low. But I mean, since he gave that to you, I thought it's kind of a sign to like let you know what the deal is. And I'll roll up my sleeve and show her the mark on my arm as well. Remember how like Bryn had those flowers and she gave one to me? He didn't take it back, and that was the reason why. It's actually my focus, so I don't have to wear anything extensive or external. It's just there. And yeah, just I mean, I'm sure at one point we'll be able to tell you everything, but right now that's kind of what we've got.
He said something else interesting. I don't know if. Well, I asked him to say hello to my family because, he saw him. He was with RX, so I figured maybe he has the best chance of seeing them. And when I brought that up, he said he's most likely to see my mother first. I thought he meant Evita. I don't know. Makes me wonder. Either way, I hope they're okay.
Well, you are having a mirror commissioned. Uh, I mean, not everybody's Valak, so you can always maybe scry on her.
It can't hurt to try.
Right? That'd be kind of cool if your mom was still alive and it was all an elaborate trick.
That would be wonderful, but wishful thinking.
That's kind of a religious. That's kind of what religion is. It's
I've never
kind of
been
wishful thinking.
I've never been a particularly religious person.
Well, I mean, I understand.
But thank you. I'll hold on to this and figure out where to put it.
As you look back down at the flower, because you have it by the stem, you just see the flower is kind of bouncing its little head to the side, like on a beat.
It's just, is it vibing or is it trying to tell me to go somewhere?
It's just vibing, like it's got its own song playing in its head.
I really want to cast Speak with Plants because I did stalk it.
It's just bopping.
Teach,
It's just
teach me your song, plant.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll cast Speak with Plants. Do I hear anything from it?
YMCA. YMCA. The whole song.
Now you just have to repeat it to Kaporin.
Or Rachel, because he's right
Plant
there.
songs.
So you see Nori kind of just do a quick little thing with her hands and then look down and then just like immediately like, oh, wow, okay. Because this little flower's fucking screaming it.
Or just kind of looks down at the flower and goes, "You keep singing your heart out, buddy."
YMCA.
I reach underneath my tunic and pull out a pendant. I've had this for a while, and it's got like the 3 snowflowers kind of painted on the front of it. And I pop it open and hand it to Nori. I'm like, you could probably store it in this, since I don't need it anymore.
Okay. Could I store it in that, or would I be crumpling the poor thing?
No, you're fine.
I still have the spell up, so like put it in the thing. Does it stop singing?
It just sounds muffled now.
Good. I want to just keep singing.
It's like fun to say it though. YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have like a mirror. You can do it every feet.
I love this stupid little flower so much.
If its petals weren't petals and it was a little fist, you'd feel the bumping against the pendant now.
Wait, dancing or trying to get out?
Dancing.
Okay.
Young man, are you listening? Yeah, the whole thing.
Like after a little while of the spell going, Nori's just like, it's stuck in my head now. And then she'll drop the spell. But day 2, Nori's gonna start fucking around with spells.
All right. Still on day 1, is there anything anyone else would like to get done?
Or just be working on his dolls. Otherwise,
Dex check.
Cha would like to be trying to gain proficiency in more tools of some sort. I still think he's working on alchemy first, but I don't know if somebody's going to want to teach him that. Maybe Hawkus?
Hawkus isn't an artificer. He's just an arms dealer.
That lady that was helping me modify my gun, maybe?
Yeah. What was her name again? Is it Orghilda? No, I don't think it's Orghilda. I will find it. But alchemy specifically? Who? I don't think she's the alchemist. I think she's the tinkerer.
Tinker's tools are cool too.
Make an intelligence check. Fortunately, Kaporin, man, those fucking needles are like attracted to your fingertips. You just cannot make any progress, and you end up having to throw out a good portion as you're bleeding into the fabric too much.
He's just making it, a mood. It's fine.
Tie-dye, yeah.
It's a new, what is it called? He's being even more goth than normal.
I
He's
literally
doing
put my blood,
voodoo
sweat, and
dolls.
tears.
He's doing voodoo dolls.
Because it just hurts him.
these are made for his friends. Like I will always be with you guys.
If you want to spend the next... It's going to be a few rolls to do it. If you wanted to spend 3 days learning the Tinker's tools, I would say that's your first success.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
All right. Another tool set to put down on the list. Not only can he mimic words, but he can mimic proficiencies.
Is he just going to become proficient in every single tool in this entire game?
Once he's done with the tools, he moves on to instruments.
It's a personal goal of his is to just be able to do whatever with these items of this toolkit.
He's got a multi-purpose toolkit. He might as well learn every tool. Okay.
But yeah, that'll be what he does for the 3 or whatever days that we're doing.
Okay. You guys are here for, I think, at least 5 for Amric's sitiation. Because full plate mail takes a while to make. All right. So, anything else for the first day?
Oh yes. Before Bryn goes to bed, she's gonna read her new book, just as first smidge.
And oh, what a smidge it is! As you've learned earlier that through the first chapter, you get about 3 pages in before the pictures start arriving, and it's one thing to envision something as you read it; it's another thing to see it on the next page. It's not bad though.
Warren's gonna have a lot of fun answering questions about this book.
Well,
Oh, we're just gonna mess with him.
oh, okay. I was gonna say it might be easier to ask Annabelle or something if you really had questions.
Oh no. We're just
Just-
gonna mess with him.
Purely fucking with him.
Okay.
You breaking into Kaporan's room and just you
No,
find him
no.
reading it.
No, I'm not doing anything yet. There's nothing happening with
You
Kaporan
just
yet
wait.
in this book.
7
Yeah,
months from now.
Exactly.
It's the long
We're in
con.
this for the long game.
All right. So, without anything else for the first day, go ahead and night, sleep, second day.
Which, if in the evenings after training, is going to be reading that Valak book
Okay.
while stealthed, so that nobody knows he's reading it.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll stealth again. This goes off Kaporan's passive. Because he's no longer looking for you.
And then I'm assuming Bryn's just reading this book because she's going to bed super early and Nori's out.
Yeah. Nori's like still at dinner. And you're like, all right, I'll see you later, bye. Okay. So, second day. Everyone who has checks to make, go ahead and make them.
What would be associated with mine?
What was yours again?
I'm trying to mess with spells. I'll start.
Okay. Oh yeah. You're starting today. That's why. Okay. So for yours, I would say you probably spend the majority of the day without really getting anywhere.
Yeah, she wasn't expecting to get anywhere for today. This is a
But-
very new thing.
Yeah, it's a very new thing. But you also, like, a majority of the day, you don't even know where to start. Like, it is.
The only basis she has for anything is that she does have an improved healing word, which she learned. So she knows she had the original healing word and then she had it improved. So she has the flimsiest base.
Yeah, but again, like, it's one thing to learn someone else who's figured it out, and it's another to completely do it on your own. And, like, you know, like, the healing word that you got has a slight variation to the hand gestures and how you pull it from yourself. So you know that that's roughly what I gotta do. But you're like, dude. So if you think that one spell, takes about 12 hand gestures to do. Any spell that's an action. So healing word's easier because it's a bonus action spell. So it's only about 6 maneuvers. But even then it's like, okay, do I move a finger here? Do I spin it in a, like, you're just like, I don't know. So eventually Go ahead.
She might start with just trying to enhance a spell she already has, like trying to either add a spellcasting modifier to Primal Savagery or increase the duration because it's acid damage. So theoretically, having a longer lasting claws made of acid, I could do something with that.
Yeah. But by the end of the day, like you're trying to pull in different directions, trying to either change or amplify, and you're not really getting anywhere. And so by the end of the day, you're just like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this, like which route to go. And so reaching out to Mazoga, she would tell you that if you're trying to alter your own spells, you're gonna need components, like physical components, to help in the process, and that's why some spells require like expensive components, because it's not only it's so hard to change a spell that you've been doing for so long without it just being taught to you, because being taught how to write cursive, when like you writing cursive on your own, and then someone else being like, oh, you realize that if you hold it like this, it's a lot easier, and then you do it and you're like, oh well, fuck yeah, that's so much easier. It's one thing to do that, and then it's one thing to be writing cursive your whole life, and then all of a sudden you decide you want to change how you write cursive. It's like your hand will automatically eventually go back to the natural feel that you've created for yourself. So
what about spells without components?
No, this is any spell. She's saying that any spell, if you're trying, especially if you're trying to amplify rather than just slightly change, you're gonna need spell components, because just naturally how you're trying to do the spell, you need an extra source that has you're going to need an extra magical source to come in and be the deviating factor for you to create something new, is basically what she's saying. That's how she did all of her stuff. That's how she was able to train everything. She said by the end of it, she ended up using like 10,000 gold worth of different components over like 3 years to create everything that she can do now. So it's not as simple as, oh, I focus really hard and it changes. It's like, no, if you're trying to amplify, you're trying to make something better, it's going to take a lot of effort. Polly can kind of do this because he's getting deital help. And his is really only moving from action to bonus action, and it's only going to be a couple spells. Like, to full on, like the healing word one that you know now, that probably took a few hundred gold and some time to do for it to work. So Mazoga would give you a list of different gems, any types of gems. You never know what's going to be best until what you're trying to do, you do it, and you're holding the different types of gems, because different things are going to resonate differently. As well as, especially since you're druid, more herbs, incenses, especially the purer and the more expensive the better, because it's just, and she would make a joke, just like drugs, the purer the better. But in this case, it really does make a difference with like some of the stuff that you're trying to do. Like she would tell you, just doing her half wild shapeness that she has, that took 4,000 gold to learn, and about 6 months until she got that down.
And Nori would definitely ask for like, hey, components, all of that, like lists that would be helpful for making stuff. And so she's just going to have a list of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's her mission to obtain these so she can do this.
I'll get you a list. I have a list of everything that Mazoga basically used when she was doing her stuff. So I will find it and get you that list. So, as far as everyone else goes, Kaporin, you're just having a hard time, man. It's the cold. You're like, you know what? When I start working on this tomorrow, right next to the fire, I'm gonna be right fucking next to that fire, to the point where the needle starts heating up.
Just keeps my whole hand warm.
You'll get advantage tomorrow on your dex check.
Kaporn, you could probably train with the women that actually work at the inn, since they mend stuff all the time anyway.
About 5 minutes into that, after Kaporin singing, they would probably kick All right, that's
No,
enough of that. Have a good day.
No one wants to take Kaporn on as a student.
There's been 2 people that have. One was stuck in a hospital bed next to you the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one's Luke.
Unless they're... Okay, yes. I guess Kaporn should really just be looking for drugs at this point.
That would probably help. Polly,
I woke
another
up my cat.
Polly, that's another success for you. Bryn, another success for you. Rachad, did you roll? Your intelligence check.
And then Emmerich is doing his own rolls, right?
Emmerich already passed for all this stuff. What's supposed to take 3 days takes Rachad 2. As he comes out swinging, and as she's starting to do some more things, he's like, no. Not the 4mm socket wrench, 3mm. And she just goes, the student has become the master. And then someone off to the side goes, you are the chosen one!
I hate you.
I've got the high ground, Anakin!
The forge burns a little brighter.
Alright, so you are proficient in Tinker's tools. Congratulations, little bird.
Wonderful, and I don't even know what to do with my last day.
Transform one of the beds into the spinning ones that we saw in Bryn's room and Nori's room the other time.
Boom, boom,
Can I spend the last day adding gears with my tinkering proficiency to my project that I have already?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, so anything for the second day? Everybody else?
Is
Yeah.
is the mirror done today or is it done tomorrow?
It's done tomorrow. There's 3 days for you, 5 days for Emmerich.
I want to run around town and start gathering supplies for our trip,
Okay.
especially like feed stuff for Bill and things like that.
Okay. Do you want to send me a list of stuff you want to get, or just...
Yeah, I'll send you a list.
Okay. Before?
I would ask Paul to pick him up a bottle of Ratican.
I will do that.
Where do you want to pick up this bottle of Radican?
Yeah, I was gonna say just casually walk into some place and say, "Hey, I want a bottle of illegal drugs."
The Green Triad, where Libra got it last time.
Going into the Green Dryad, you realize it's under new management.
That would probably be why.
Yeah. Well, it also seems that Libra probably wasn't the only person she was supplying to.
What about Cures and Curses, where Vinny's uncle's girlfriend works?
Talking to her personally?
Never mind. Vinny's uncle's business partner.
yeah,
I will
I
actually
guess-
talk to Vinny's uncle first about it, because I don't want to just walk into the store
Okay, yeah.
and
If you're looking for Radican and you talk to Vinny's uncle, he can supply you.
Sounds good. Just like a couple 3 doses. Not a lot. I don't
3
want
doses?
Porn to be all crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be 15 gold.
Okay.
See Polly just in a harumph being like, got your drugs. And slams it down and goes for it.
For Rachaz's purposes, was the Ratican the stuff that he turned into pill form, or was it the powder that he turned into pills?
You had how many of each?
I had a dose of both, as far as I know, and I played around with both in my.
I think it was the
Alchemist
powder
stuff.
turned into a pill.
Okay, so then I probably would have just distilled out the Ratican, and I wouldn't actually have Ratican on me anymore.
Okay.
Learning what it was made of and stuff.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like heating it up and trying to distill it out, you actually create a small fireball. as once it turns into a gaseous state, it immediately poofs. And you go,
So-
wow.
Yeah, that's why I did it outside of town.
Okay. So, drugs received.
You owe me 15 gold, Kaparan.
Warren happily hands you 15 gold pieces.
Vinny's uncle would say that's pretty much all he's got, though.
I'm not going to be greedy.
He said the Silly Minotaur is probably your, or not the Silly Minotaur. The what's the club name here? Silly Minotaur was the last place.
Club night?
Yes, Club Knight's probably your best shot at getting illicit materials. Since Vinny's uncle usually gets it from the Ilias jungle anyway, so.
Yeah, I figured from the last time we went out and shit went down, I don't really want to do that again.
Before Caparan takes it, Racha kind of like concerned. He's like, why?
Are you taking it that night,
Is your-
Kaborn?
No, Capone's actually gonna hold off for the next day.
Okay.
What do you know? I have a free day.
I could be your
This is
drug
where-
babysitter.
Capone just floats above my head all day, just watching me.
And you would never even know.
It's more of a like, can I come?
You want to take a trip with me?
Ezra Try has his pill.
How about I just watch?
Oh, we gotta somehow give Rickshaw the line. I like to watch. And yes,
I mean-
it will be in that context. Most likely come from Kaporan.
I was gonna say next time we have a prostitute involved in anything.
That's why I said most likely come from Kaporan.
What?
Because you're the only one that's
Yeah,
used
I
a
keep losing
prostitute so
gold.
far.
Can't keep losing gold like this.
To be fair, Racha was dealing with a prostitute at the pirate island.
True. But couldn't convince her. Couldn't close the deal. Alright. So anybody want to do anything else for the second day? Alright, third day's around. Everyone make your checks. Richa, you're done.
You want me to do like a dex check or something for the other project?
Do a...
I guess a tinkering tool check.
Yeah.
Can I indomitable it? Is it that, or that's not a thing I could do, huh?
Is Indomitable just saving throws or is it checks?
Rin gets her ass handed to her on the third day.
It's saving throws.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. That is a fail, in case you were wondering, Bryn.
Thanks, Val. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
And by the way, since it's a nat fail, that's technically 2 fails.
Thank you. Thanks, Val. Thank you
Hey, no worries.
so much. I
No worries.
appreciate it.
I'm here for you.
We still have 2 more days after this?
Yeah, you can spend another day with the training. Hopefully, make up for it. Okay, all right. So, like I said, Bryn, that's a fail.
You.
Yeah, no worries. Don't worry, Polly failed too. That makes you feel better. Doesn't make Polly feel better. Gaporin, you pass.
What was mine? Just
It was a Tinker's check. Yeah, so that'd be.
and so it's dex plus my tinkers.
Yeah, so Dex plus your proficiency modifier.
Cool. That's just going to be a sleight of hand then, because that's what. I accidentally rolled twice.
Unfortunately, Richa, you do succeed.
It's like, damn it. And just like looks at his
I'm
finished
just too
work.
good.
It's like-
Richard planned for like an all-day process, and he just like in the
Even-
first hour he's done, he's like, oh,
Evenly magically created tassels and put it on it. Well, fuck.
Wonderful, that works.
Okay. So, Kaporn, you finally make headway using the warmth of the fire onto your whole situation of whatever
Yeah.
doll you're currently working on. You get about halfway done today. As you spend the majority of the day doing this. But it is the third day. Evening is upon you.
Can I get my mirror?
Yes, you've received your mirror. Mark off the correct amount of gold.
So 500?
Yes. I believe it's half up, half later.
Warren is shooting down some Radican tonight.
How many doses?
I have 142 gold left.
How many doses?
Yep. Or how about this? Do
You could-
one dose and make a con save.
Yeah, I was about
I
to
was
say,
gonna
it's
say,
like,
like, is this like an edible situation where you gotta wait and let one go through real quick?
Something like that. As Kaporan takes it and feels no effect. As he lies on the bed, strumming his lute, looking around, not seeing Luke. And yes, I meant that to rhyme.
based on.
When the DM's the bard,
Everything rhymes.
life gets quite hard.
All for Kaporin. Well, half the time he's snoring on the case.
So, do you want to take another dose? You're not feeling anything. There's no Luke around.
Yeah, if he's not feeling anything, and he would be like, he thought one would work, but if it takes two, then he'll do two.
Maybe you got a bad batch. You take the second one and nothing. You kind of like sit up on the bed and just like, well, what the fuck? Luke? No response.
Is he trying to succeed these saves or fail them?
To be fair, you weren't told. I mean, you are in a heavily dwarf and gnome city. Maybe these doses are meant for shorter people. Like, body-wise, you're decently larger than the majority of people here, so...
I mean, he'd rationalize that's kind of how he would rationalize it. So
Yeah, I know. I'm Kaporan's conscience.
wonderful. Hi, Luke. Yeah.
All right. So,
Something actually happens.
yeah, because 3 doses will fuck up anybody. The third dose gets imbibed. The ghost of Christmas future. The third dose gets imbibed, and Racha, you've grown a little weary after the second dose. And then before you can do anything about it, he just, oh, fuck this, and you're just like, oh boy.
Yeah, this is like. Can you check and see if his multi-purpose toolkit will unroll into a healer's kit?
Nope, we've already used it today.
Oh fuck!
Tinker's tools.
Run, bird, run.
So, Kaporin. You are sitting at the edge of the bed, and you're just getting upset that you're not feeling anything. Like, what the fuck is this about? Like, what the actual fuck? What the fuck? As you start to rage. Racha, up in your corner, looking over your assassin book down at Kaporin, you see as Kaporin's like back portion of his cloak seems to get very tight across his back, and he kind of like rips off the cloak itself and throws it down, and you see the shirt underneath is like barely containing the mass that is Kaporin, as Kaporin is just like seemingly getting very pissed at something, but you're not sure what, until all of a sudden, almost Hulk status, some of the seams start to give way, and Kaporin just stands up and just flips the bed in an amazing array of strength that you've never seen from Kaporin. Kaporin flips the bed, but not only flips it, sends the bed through the wall. The bed gets destroyed. The wall just caves in as this bed flies out into a back alley. And Kaporin just turns around, punches a giant hole in the wall, and starts storming towards the door and just shoulders his way through it.
Oh dear.
And you can start to hear Kaporin angrily stomp down the hallway.
I will chase after him. Still trying to maintain my stealth.
Okay, easy enough to do for you.
If
Can
we
you
end
hear
up,
this commotion?
yeah, I was gonna say if we end up passing by the rest of the group, I'd like knock on everybody's doors as
Well,
we're
Grin
going
and
by.
Nori are the opposite direction, as far away from the rest of the group as possible. The only people that you'd be passing by is Polly and Amric. Amric is K the fuck O from all the training he's been doing. You hear loud stomping and someone grunting angrily on the other side of the door, but they pass by your room, Polly.
Yeah, Rachel would stop and like knock on Polly and like, Polly, help, and just keep going after Caparin. But what time is it? Like, how late is
Like
this
11
right now?
o'clock at night. Kaporin wanted a
I'll
good
peek my
ride
head
before
out
bed.
and- I'll peek my head out and see what's happening.
You just see Richa at the so where your room is at. You have about 4 more rooms until the stairs, and you know it goes down and then it turns and does a U, and goes down the other half flight. By the time you get to the door and open it up, you just see Richa at the U portion, and as Richa sees you poking your head out, help, and all you see is this large chunk of the doorway around the staircase that has like a good foot. Almost looks like some giant creature came and just chomped this whole section. Kaporin had punched his way through as he was on his way down the stairs.
I'll run after.
Basically, Kaporin, you have to keep inflicting damage to keep your rage up. So, every 6 seconds, you gotta punch or hit something. It's just, you have to. That is what's going on. So, Polly, you get up. Like, you're probably in the process of taking your armor off. And then you heard the, help! Ah, son of a bitch. Click, click. Ah, fucking shit. Too old for this. Americ's just... So you head out to follow the bird as Racha, you're just in the wake of this Kaporin stampede. Surprisingly, when you guys get down to the lobby, no stewardesses. None of them are here. Almost awkwardly, none of them are here, as if they might have caught one glimpse of Kaporin and were like, deuces, and vampired their way out somewhere.
Is there any way I can reach him? Or is he moving too fast?
He's moving full speed. So you're already probably like a good 15, 20 feet behind when you first get out of the room.
Has he like he's grown in size to like 10 feet or something?
He hasn't
Or-
grown height-wise. He's just bulked. So basically,
Hmm.
think of Kaporin on roids.
Gotcha.
Put
It's
Arnold
Shaggy
Schwarzenegger's
from the
body.
it's Shaggy from the second Scooby Doo movie or
Yes.
whatever that one is.
I
Gotcha.
will cast Hold Person on him.
Okay, is that considered a charm?
No, but he needs to make a Wisdom saving throw. I don't know. It's enchantment. Does that make it charm?
It would say like for the duration this person is charmed or something to that effect.
I don't think hold person is charm.
That's a paralyzed spell.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a charm.
Okay, then you have advantage on this Kaporin. Kaporin, you have advantage on Wisdom and Intelligence saves.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, he's smarter.
No, it's that was it that frenzied rage ability where it's harder for things to affect your mind.
Oh no, is he gonna get exhaustion after this?
So Kaporin saves.
Yeah, he saves.
Rachad's mostly just following him for now. If he's getting like destructive in the actual city, he's gonna try and intervene.
He's not leaving. He's staying in the inn.
Oh, okay, then he will. If he's still breaking stuff and actively just destroying things, he's gonna jump on his back like a spider monkey and activate his wings and try and grapple him to
I'm
keep
gonna
him
come
from
at you like a spider monkey.
and to try and keep him from swinging and doing stuff.
Okay.
If Rachad's doing that, can I go for the legs?
Yep. Kaporin is still definitely creating havoc as he's destroying any and everything around him and in his wake. So, Rachad, you jumping on him, that would be contested athletics. Kaporin, currently you can modify your strength to be 21. And you have advantage on athletics.
Rin and Nori contently sleeping.
Rachad,
Rolled wisdom.
yeah, when he uses his bamfed out wings, he uses his wisdom stat instead.
Yeah, I don't get a -1, I get a +2.
Um,
That was
Kaporin.
just a straight. That was a strength roll, not an athletics. I just.
Oh, okay, so roll athletics. Pretty still right
I
up
mean,
there.
it's the same. Yeah, it would have. We could take that first roll.
Yeah.
I want to get yeeted.
Yeah, you're definitely getting yeeted. So, Rachad, you basically impact in your spectral wings out to try and wrap them around, and like as you bamf them out and start to bring them around the body, almost instinctually, like Kaporin has had you on his back quite a few times without him knowing, he, with a quickness that you're not expecting, reaches back and grabs you by the scruff of the neck. And just there's that immediate, oh no. And then just like a baseball pitcher throwing 100 miles an hour, just sends you flying down a hallway. And you don't impact the ground for a good 40 feet.
Wee! And like
14
The
points of
Doppler
bludgeoning
effect
damage. And you can use your uncanny dodge to half that to 7. As you kind of tumble, and then like catch yourself into that like 3-point pose where you kind of slide a bit and let the carpet pools up underneath you.
ooh, that was interesting. And then he goes running off again.
Are you running towards Kaporin? Because Kaporin
Yeah.
is now beelining to you.
He will.
Polly, you're about to jump on his legs as Rachad gets hucked and Kaporn is just in full sprint behind, following Richa.
Alright, should I try to take out his legs?
You can try. Go ahead and another athletics versus athletics between the two of you. Kaporn, you still have advantage.
Racha will go running at Caparin, and as he goes, wonderful. He will.
When
I
I
just
say
saw
Caparin
Caparin.
has poetic roles, this is what I mean.
He'll drop his ball bearing bag and just scatter them down the hallway essentially, and then try and slide between Caparin's legs and shove him over the top of the ball bearings with all of his spectral arm might.
Okay. First off, Polly, you try to jump out and grab onto the legs of Kaporn. You get around one, but Kaporn's already in full sprint, so his other leg's too far out to like grab with it. And as you're like hanging on for like the next 2 steps, Kaporn just grabs you by the top of the head and just slams your head into the wall. So you kind of just and that's gonna be 8 points of bludgeoning damage. As there's now a poly imprint into the wall, like a good foot in. And Kaporn, you're in full sprint here. So Racha, it's going to be acrobatics versus Kaporn's athletics for you to slide beneath his legs. Okay, you're able to dodge between his legs. Now go ahead and give me an athletics push to see if you can get him up and over. Unfortunately, he's just too much of a freight train right now. As you try to lift and push, and it's just and your arm, the little spectral arms just kind of slip. And Kaporan, before you get to the ball bearings, you kind of skid along the rug and do a 180-degree turn now that this Racha is directly behind you. So another athletics versus athletics as Kaporan's trying to grapple you now. You can use
How much
acrobatics.
noise
Racha.
is this making?
Racha, you can use acrobatics if you want. Unfortunately, you were hoping that lift would have worked, and you weren't expecting Kaporan to stop on a dime like that. And you're just like, help! As Kaporan, and you see now as you look into Kaporan's face, his face is beet red. Like so much blood is rushing to every part of his body that usually pale skin is much more rosy in all aspects, but his face, it's like tomato. It's like very red, but the eyes are completely blacked out. Pupil, whites of his eyes, all of it is just completely black. You realize that, okay, there's going to be no getting to this motherfucker as he is gone. By the way, one dose would usually take down a horse. So.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Can I try casting Hold Person again?
After this interaction, because it's technically their turn still, Kaporan, you just reach down and like push through the spectral arms to actually grab Racha. And Birdie like to go yeet. Kaporan, you just throw him straight up, sending him through the roof of this floor. And Racha, you bust through the floor and kind of land on the second floor. You're like, oh. That is 11 points of bludgeoning damage. As he just holds you straight through. Okay, so now you can do your Hold Person. Wisdom save with advantage. Kaporan. Now it's starting to get to an excessive amount of noise for the girls.
I got him.
But Kaporan is held.
Okay, but let's be real. Bryn's just getting beat up like for 3 days straight. She's dead tired.
Oh, today you got fucked up too.
Exactly.
So
So,
you're at half health all day.
lovely.
Yeah, Nori, like hearing that is like, is it something getting attacked? So Nori's gonna leave Bryn there and just cautiously walk down the stairs.
Okay. It's gonna take about 5 turns for you to get down.
Yeah.
As I've got him, because it's a minute long, I'm gonna walk up to him and say,
Every
"Kaporan,
6 seconds he can make the save again.
calm
Yeah,
down."
Rachaz's gonna swing down using his grappling hook that he has, and basically he's gonna loop the rope, and then try and essentially hoist Caparin. So there's a frozen Caparin pinata dangling in the middle of this.
A hog tie me?
Kaporan, go ahead and make another wisdom save as Polly's moving closer to you, telling you to calm, and Rachaz's starting to tie you up. Still stuck.
Still fails.
So you get the tie off, Rachaz, but you're going to try and hoist him.
It makes the hog tie is the more important thing, but yeah, he's gonna try and make him dangle in there.
Okay.
Like a
Um,
wrecking.
Do I have time to cast another spell?
If it's not concentration, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay. It does not have an effect on him because he took 3 doses and not just 1. If it was 1, it would.
You got rid of a singular poisoning of the multiple poisonings.
Rachaz, go ahead and make a tools check, a Tinker's Tools check, with disadvantage. Because this is trying to like do a pulley system very quickly with only a grappling hook. Yeah,
It would be proficiency plus is +3 for the toolkit, wouldn't it be?
It's still in that one.
Never mind, I take it back.
I don't know what the +3 is, but yeah, it's still a stat, and then just having proficiency with the toolkit lets me throw my proficiency onto the stat, whatever that is.
Yeah, but your toolkit, what does it give you, like a +1?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. The actual toolkit
Yeah,
would be an additional 3. You're right.
that's our 3. But yeah, so nat 1, you like throw the grappling hook up, and you're trying to use this one board as the pulley portion. And as you go to like yank Kaporan to go up, the board just snaps, and you kind of just left with the rope. And he's still tied, very rudimentary tied, but now you're just holding the other end of the grappling. Like, well, fuck.
Yeah, it'll start going for the legs now.
Kaporan, another save. And Kaporan, during this time, you take half damage to all bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, and all that stuff. Each turn that you can't cause damage, you take damage. So you're taking 1d8 per turn, so this is 3 turns. So you take 8 points of damage. Okay. So, Rachel, you're starting to tie up the legs.
Yeah, he's just going all out with this rope. He'll even pull out his second rope, the silk one.
Okay.
I'm just sweating, like trying to concentrate on this real hard.
Okay. Kaporan. Rachel, give me a dex check. And then Kaporan, go ahead and do your wisdom save.
You just cannot break out of it.
Unfortunately, the silk rope, it's just not working correctly. His muscle's just a little too big. It's not finding the right purchase. Anything else you want to do, Rachel? Nori, you're starting to see the carnage of the staircase and the different like hole punches and like blown out wood.
Nori's suddenly running.
Is Caparin just like standing there, or is he like laying on the ground now?
No, he's standing there. He's like feet shoulder length apart, arms kind of like in a slight motion as if he was about to take a step forward before he got frozen.
I will, now that he's wrapped up, try and topple him onto the ground and push him prone, essentially.
Okay, give me an athletics check. Polly's holding concentration. He's just too fucking heavy.
Man, I haven't rolled above a 10.
With this new size of his, he's actually 150 pounds heavier. Kapoor, go ahead and give me that wisdom save. As Racha has now jumped on your back once again, trying to push you over. And Polly, that bead of sweat that has been starting to form along your side gets in your eye just for a second, and you're like, oh shit, and then you realize, oh fuck. Kapoor, athletics check.
I lost it.
Bird go yeet. As bird on shoulder, Kapoor send fly.
Even though he's grappled or like tied up and stuff, he still has to break
With
that.
the 24, he breaks it. I believe rope, when it comes to tying, has a DC of 19.
I don't know, but something like that.
But with his, he rips it out. He's not sending you as far as he did earlier, but you go over Polly, and you kind of like do your barrel roll. You don't take any damage. You do your barrel roll, and as you kind of like sit back up, you see Nori now at the stairs like, what the fuck?
What the hell is happening?
Don't know, but he's not stopping. And I'll try to tackle them.
All right, Paul, you trying to tackle?
Nori,
Competing athletics checks between the two of you.
I see roided out Caparin, correct?
Oh yeah.
Nori is going to cast. I know they're not supposed to use spells, but this is an emergency. Is going to cast Conjure Woodland Beings and summon 8 pixies. And we're going to spam polymorph on this bitch. And we're going to turn him into a tortoise, a tiny tortoise, so we can't do shit.
Okay. So, first off, Polly, you like try to like mid-waist take Kapoor into the ground, but he kind of like grabs you and uses your own momentum against you and throws you like 5 feet behind him. And then the pixies just appear and they start to just bombard polymorph. Was it charisma check?
It is. Let me pull it up.
Charisma save, I think.
It is a. I actually need to pull up the spell polymorph. Hold.
Oh no, I think the one I'm thinking of is plain.
Yes, let's banish Caparin.
I can do that too.
Wisdom saving throw, so you do have advantage on this. What's the DC for pixies? I think it's like 13.
That is a 12.
Yeah.
So
He has to make 8.
So first one success. Second one success. Third one success.
You're rolling wisdom checks, not saves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So wisdom
Okay.
saves.
So,
So those
they'd be even
last
higher.
3.
No, it'd be less according to the wisdom saves +2, where whatever wisdom he's rolling is +4.
Oh, okay. The first one was +2. Okay, so
My
one,
DC.
two, save. So 2 have saved. Save 3. Save 4. Save 5. Save 6. Save 7. So as the last one goes to take hold, it's not working. Kaporan currently has immutable form. As this body of Kaporan is not wholly Kaporan, hence why he's so big and constructed right now.
I just get possessed.
Not technically possessed. Basically, what has happened is there's been a sort of reaction inside you, taking so many doses at once that all this extra you is not you. It's just it's a creation. So he's partial construct at the moment. Organic construct.
Can I try to cast Greater Restoration on him?
Well, you currently casted the pixies for polymorph.
After my
Now it's Kaporan's
after.
turn. Kaporan, the small intelligence that you do have knows that the creator of the pixies is the person to go for. So you do get your
Come at me, bitch.
you get a charge bonus as you're going to be moving more than 20 feet towards her. So go ahead and with your 21 strength to go ahead and make an unarmed strike against her. Should just be in your actions. 18 hit.
18 hits.
So he bull rushes towards you as he makes impact. And it is literally Goku-esque where it's just boom! And just clocks you directly in the chest, sending you back into the stairs behind you. Kaporan, you roll... so with the charge bonus, you roll 4d4s plus your strength bonus.
The pixies poof.
And all the pixies just...
+5.
So 14 points of damage. As you just... and they're just like crumpled a little bit on the stairs, like, oh, that's gonna hurt the back later. Polly's getting up. Racha is currently getting up as well. Nori's kind of splatted across the stairs, and Kaporan, as you're about to just let loose on this little half-elven girl, you feel something hold your shoulder as you're about to just send the Kamehameha of all punches down into her sweet, adorable little head. And you kind of stop and are about ready to... You think it's Racha again, so you go to like reach back and throw him once more, and you don't get anything. And you look back, and Luke is standing there. He's like, "That's enough." And you instinctually, Racha, Polly, Nori, you guys see as Kapoor just starts punching like fucking like a grade A boxer, like taking the right breaths and everything. And you're just like, God damn, he's scary. Like, where the fuck did he learn this? This Kaporan's just shadow boxing something. And then Luke reaches out and just face palms your entire forehead, Kaporan. And you guys just see Kaporan, like, stiff as a board, just slam on the ground. Racha, make a dex save.
Uh-oh.
Dips out of there like Racha always does. Gets out of the way, just as just as you're laying on your back with the red and darkness around your pupils starting to slowly subside. Luke kind of stands over you and just goes, I feel like we may have a problem with overindulgence. We need to really work this out.
Do we see Luke or no?
No, none of you guys are high.
Capitalizing on it, Racha will just scramble and Gulliver's Travel strap Kaparin down to the ground.
I thought you were gonna
With
people
his-
elbow
With his-
Kaporin.
with his pitons and he'll just pay whatever fine he needs to give to these people for the piton damage to the floor.
I was expecting Rachad to be like, you know what, I'm gonna take the chance, just Ugh! Go to sleep.
Got 4 attacks, damn it.
Where's Bryn casting haste when you need her? Easy enough to do. He's unmoving currently. Luke has turned off the function of Kaporin's body. Basically, he's paralyzed by Luke.
Thanks, Luke.
Luke.
That's me, not
Yeah.
not Nori.
Rachel's just like, the hell am I?
No, no.
Like pitons in
Rachel.
hand, in rope. He's just like, the fuck. Just points to the hole in the ceiling. All the damage that he's done just from his body alone. Polly's imprints in the wall.
Are you guys okay?
No, but neither is he. So let's deal with this.
And with that, we'll end tonight's session there. And for Kaporin, we get to have another mini session.
Rachel's just
Yay.
over sweeping up
Trying to
all of
tidy
his
as
ball
much as-
bearing.
Oh, okay.
All of his ball bearings, getting them back into as much as possible.
Easy enough to do.
Norris, how much damage did you take, Richa?
Less than you, I think. It was like 13. Yeah, 13.
I did take 14.
Rajah has uncanny dodge, so he gets to half a lot of damage. Alrighty, guys. Any questions?
Ow.
Yeah.
How bad would she have gotten hurt after that?
Oh,
Nori went.
you would have had frenzy attack. You would have had frenzy for your attack. You would have had additional attack. You basically, when that happens, something like that, you become a level 10 barbarian. So in some cases, that can be really fucking useful if you're got stuck on a one-on-one anti-magic zone. Like, it can be very beneficial if the bowl is pointed in the right direction. But when it just happens in the middle of the night and you have nothing to let all your anger out on, everyone else gets it. So it's
Can't
definitely,
imagine why this drug is illegal.
yeah, no, who would have thought? Any other questions?
And I wonder where Coparin got it from.
No idea.
Nope.
Absolutely no idea.
Forgot it all. Alrighty, guys. If anything does come up, feel free to message me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If not, if I don't talk to y'all before then, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday.
Night,
Have a good night, everyone.
Night, y'all.
Good night. Sorry for the damage.
Thank you all for those that stayed with us. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe.